the system is back.
Joining us, we do have a severe weather cut-in here because we do have our first tornado warning of the night, and it's right in the northern sliver of our viewing area, the northwest portions of Jackson County. But this will be a good update for those of you all who are watching on the TV side of things. We've been streaming since 10 o'clock on WHA+, and thank you all who are continuing to tune in from there. But once again, we do have a tornado warning until 10:45 Eastern time. You're seeing that here on your screen. So you'll notice this activity, it's been coming from the Bloomington area. And previously, the National Weather Service in Indianapolis issued a wide range or a large size severe thunderstorm warning. And now they went ahead and issued a tornado warning downstream. So this is for central Monroe County. That's north of our area, southern Brown County, southwestern Bartholomew County, and also northwestern Jackson County in south central Indiana until 10:45. So at 10:15, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Bloomington, moving east around 45 miles per hour. And you'll notice this polygon here is that in general, things are moving kind of eastward, but they're also starting to sink a little bit southeastward. So that's why we're seeing just this sliver of this county here included in this tornado warning. But if I do zoom out, this does give you a good idea of what we are looking at this evening. So you'll notice the greens, those are flash flood warnings, the yellows, severe thunderstorm warnings, and the reds are tornado warnings. So most of Kentuckiana not included in any warnings at this time, but we do have just that sliver of northwestern Jackson County included. So we did want to cut in here on the TV side of things. And anytime you're included in a tornado warning, it is imperative that, of course, you head to your tornado safe place, lowest level of your home, away from windows, and wait out the storm as it rolls through, because some of these storms we've been seeing pretty much between Indianapolis to around Bloomington. And I just knew that some of these were going to cut right into some of our northern counties here, just kind of slice right by them, because I'm here with meteorologist John Gordon. He'll kind of chime in from time to time as he analyzes radar. But counties are not perfect squares. So as these storms move, certain counties can get kind of sliced into. So that's what we're seeing. But as I mentioned, there's been several warnings between Indianapolis and some of our northernmost counties. So we're talking Lawrence, Jackson, Jennings counties, where these storms are really tapping into some of this rotation, and they've had some impressive radar signatures at times, and that's what you're seeing. It looks like right there, right over Bloomington, John. So you're seeing the Cedar Creek, the bright blues, bright greens.
We're Bloomington right now, folks. If you have any of your relatives or family in the Bloomington area, you need to seek your shelter right now. There's two areas of rotation right on the northern side of Bloomington, and they are moving to the southeast at about 50 miles an hour. But there's rotation right there in town, right near the campus. So torrential rainfall, could be a tornado in there. It's almost rain wrapped.
Yeah.
It's totally changed form in the last 15 minutes. Torrential rainfall in Bloomington right now.
Just look at that. So this is one of those storms where, you can't try to go outside and see what this looks like. Get to your safe place. There's a lot of lightning. It's probably very loud. And as John mentioned, torrential rainfall. So when we talk about rain wrapped, you're not going to be able to see that tornado out there. So we just want you to be safe and head to your safe place. Once again, this is due to that tornado warning for northwestern Jackson County until 10:45. And then if you have any friends just to the north of there's other multiple tornado warnings that have been issued as well. And we're also watching. It's important to just kind of give you an update here, even if you don't live in northwestern Jackson County. I know that's just a slim sliver really of our viewing area, that we pay attention to these storms off to our west. And as we were doing our stream, we were talking about this one moving across the state line from Illinois to Indiana, around Robinson, Illinois, moving towards Stockton, Indiana. This one had some impressive rotation as well, and as it hangs together, it would move closer to Lawrence County. And just just kind of notice on the back sides of these, more of these storms that are continuing to develop. And really, it's these storms that are all the way out here in western Illinois. This is what we're going to be watching to be moving into much of Kentucky and still later tonight. So I know it's, 10:22. Hey, that's ahead of schedule. And some of these storms are a little ahead of schedule for our northernmost counties. But it's going to take some time for all of this to roll through here tonight. So even if you're not included in any of these warnings right now, we did just get newer watches from the National Weather Service. So the original one was for our Indiana counties, including Lawrence, Jackson, and Jennings counties. And now we have ones that have been issued farther to the south. So including the Louisville Metro, kind of along the 64 corridor and areas off to the north. And this one has been issued until 5 o'clock in the morning. So we're going to be tracking these storms for the next several hours, John.
So there's two things. So the main rotation is just east of Bloomington. There's a lot of rotation, but torrential rainfall. I would not be surprised in the next hour they could get 2 inches of rain. There's a possible tornado on radar, would be about 5 miles east of Bloomington. It's moving off to the east-southeast at about 55 miles an hour. The warning that's just north of there, Mallory, is observed, radar confirmed, probably from a CC drop up there.
Yeah, that's I don't know if you all can tell from there's so much rain.
Yeah, it's the one that's
the purple outline.
Yeah,
so
the purple one.
Anytime we have that on within our system, it means observed.
The other one, Mallory said real quick, is on the Wabash. That is going to be a problem. If you hear my voice and Mallory's voice in Bedford, Indiana, that thing is coming towards you. You have 1 hour. They've been issuing tornado warnings for the last 2 hours on that thing.
Yeah.
So be prepared. It's coming.
Yeah. So this particular storm that we're watching that I just highlighted, that one's also in effect until 10:45 outside of our viewing area. But on its current track, it would be moving toward Lawrence County, including Bedford, Indiana, over the next hour. So once again, the reason we are even cutting into coverage is that small little sliver that you're seeing there of Jackson County, northwestern Jackson County, due to this storm that's currently blasting through Bloomington, Indiana right now.
Yep.
With a lot of heavy rainfall, frequent lightning. This is going to be a loud storm and some rotation with it as well.
Yep, it's moving right on the edge there in the northwest part, west of Seymour. The rotation is between Seymour and Bloomington. It's now about 9 to 10 miles east of Bloomington. Bloomington continues. Probably got hail up there, maybe an inch, just on the north side, and that's all moving to the east-southeast at 55 miles an hour. It's what we call a high precipitation, believe it or not. I can't believe this. It is very junky on radar. It's not crystal clear like it was before.
Right. Yeah, so a lot of rain to contend with as well, and as we mentioned, that's going to also lend itself to a flooding risk for tonight as well. So even if you're not under anything right now, many of us are included in a tornado watch if you're around Louisville, 64 corridor areas off to the north, and also a flood watch. So I'm trying to pull that up right now. You're noticing that here from 9 p.m. this evening through 9 a.m. Thursday morning. So these are torrential rainfall producers. There's a lot of moisture, and for some of these storms that are moving more so west to east rather than being more progressive and just kind of blasting through here, that can lead to heavy rain. That can lead to localized flooding. So we always say turn around, don't drown. This flood watch was issued proactively due to the fact that obviously this event is also occurring overnight. Yeah. So we do want everybody to be safe with that.
Some good news in the last couple scans, the rotation is not as strong. Right now it's a very strong wind threat. Yeah. So if you, Nashville, right? Nashville, Indiana, Brown County. I think you might get 75 to 80 to 85 miles an hour in the next 4 to 5 minutes. Do you see that surge?
Yeah.
Just northwest of Nashville. That's a wind threat. That's bowing out. You can show a little bow if you want on your screen, but the thing is definitely bowing off like a bow and arrow, and it's heading right for Nashville, Indiana right now.
Yes, and our producers just told me that they do have a view and earth cam of Bloomington, Indiana. So you're noticing obviously heavy rainfall,
Should see a lot of lightning
with that.
Yeah.
Yes, so this is a big lightning producer. You know, this is moving through Bloomington right now and going to continue to push downstream with, at the very least, strong winds, heavy rain, frequent lightning as well. So once again, we are watching this current tornado warned cell that is moving into the northwest corner of Jackson County right now.
Yeah. Once again, on the radar, it's a classic signature of a Boeing wind signal. There's a strong, I was just looking at, I love Radar Scope. It's $9.95 if you want to buy it at home. It's a great little tool to look at your radar. It's showing almost 80 miles an hour at about 2,000 foot off the deck. Off the ground. So very strong wind indication. Also the one that was a tornado before on the northern storm, that's a wind signature now too.
So these are kind of evolving a little bit from that couplet look to more of a Boeing look.
Now the one that's, even though there's a tornado warning that goes up into the northwest part of Lawrence, that thing on the Illinois-Indiana border
this right here
is a serious problem. That thing, I hope it weakens.
Yeah.
That thing looks like it's on the ground.
So this is around the Illinois-Indiana border. And I mean, just take a look at it on radar. So this is now east of Robinson, heading towards Stockton. And the reason we're talking about it is on its current path, it would track toward Bedford, Indiana within the hour.
Yeah. And there's one behind that too, but one thing at a time.
Right.
The worst thing happens, what's going to eventually happen sometime probably between 2 and 3 a.m., all these will congeal into a line. But right now they're more discreet, they're by themselves, and they're very dangerous, the ones that are coming out of Illinois. The ones right now that we do have the current tornado warning on is Boeing. It's a wind threat. It's surging from the west-northwest to the east-southeast. Nashville, Indiana, Brown County, beautiful place to go. The wind is a-coming. Right now.
Yes, and it does look like they went ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning downstream for that wind. So you're noticing that here for Seymour, Indiana, Freetown, Jonesville, and then to the northwestern corner of Johnson County as well.
Yeah, the tornado threat, Bloomington, they cleared you. I was just going to say you're clear. Well, they've cleared you. I think the real tornado threat is way out there by the Illinois-Indiana border on that one cell that Mallory just spoke of. You've got a significant heavy rain, flash flood threat and wind threat in that whole area between Bloomington and Greensburg and Seymour and all those little communities.
So here's a new severe thunderstorm warning that's issued downstream from the tornado warning. The reason we went on air here early for that northwestern, just little corner of Jackson County. This is now moving through Jackson County and portions of Jennings County until 11:15 due to the strong winds that John keeps talking about here. So due to this storm that's currently pushed through Bloomington, I believe we might have a camera up near Nashville, Indiana as well. So that's kind of there on the border between the tornado warnings and the severe thunderstorm warnings. Looks like just very heavy rainfall for the camera, frequent lightning that we have in that general area as well. And this is an earth cam that we're bringing to you there up in Nashville, Indiana. So
yeah, don't see a tornado threat in the last couple minutes. For our communities that they did the tornado is still up there for Northwest Lawrence, but right now the threat is wind. I do not see any rotation. There's 2 surges of wind actually between Bloomington and Seymour. No tornado threat at this moment. A lot of lightning, heavy rain, and a lot of wind. And even the hail's come down a little bit. It's really changed. It's morphed in the last 20 minutes. Yeah,
just since we popped on here. And then as John keeps mentioning as well, this one storm that's back near the Illinois border, that just has been a nasty storm to look at in terms of kind of potential rotation.
There's 2 back-to-back. One is just east of Effingham, which is where Interstate 70 and 57 meet. And that one just needs to be watched. And the one Looks like it's recycling right now,
right,
which is good. I hope it weakens.
Down for now.
We don't want that to head to Bedford.
Right.
So.
Currently looking at NWS chat just to see if there's any updates there. I do want to reiterate the watches that we're under for tonight. So first, we can talk about the tornado watch, which this is also kind of scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Tornado warning, of course, takes precedent, but when there's not a tornado warning, you'll also see those tornado watches when they are issued. And the one that was issued earlier this evening, several hours ago, that was just for our 3 northern counties, Lawrence, Jackson, Jennings counties in southern Indiana, because those are out of the NWS Indianapolis office. And now we just got the update from the Louisville office, which kind of fills that in a bit.
I tried to get this changed for years. I failed.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense with the timeline with how we had storms moving into our northernmost counties first and then continuing to push southward. But I know many of you all probably wanting that update before you try to get some snooze tonight. You try to catch some Z's as well. So what we're looking at here, tornado watch. Once again, this is until 5 a.m. That's for all the counties that you see in the pink or the reddish color there. And then off to the north, it will expire a little bit early once the storms that we're seeing tonight roll through. My guess is those 2 tornado warnings, the one that's just west of Columbus, Indiana, and the other one that we are on the air for right now, my guess is they will drop those to severes. You already have that giant severe already. The one on the north side will probably get a severe going east. I believe these tornado warnings will expire and not go east until we get the stuff coming out of Illinois. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is kind of the first round for tonight. And, you know, anytime you see these more individual cells, they're never good. That's when we have to worry about the rotation. And when things kind of congeal into a line, it usually translates into more of a damaging wind threat with potentially some embedded rotation that's trickier to handle, but it's usually a little bit weaker and doesn't last as long, at least in general. And we start to see the kind of that heavy rainfall threat as well. One thing we look at is the base velocity. What's the wind right off the surface, not counting for rotation. And there is a huge surge of wind. It's going through Brown County right now, just south of Nashville. I don't know that county as well as I should. State Route 46. If you're on that road, you are getting shellacked with wind. And Mallory can show you on the thing. There's a lot of wind right in there. Yeah, so that's just north of Jackson County. And as John mentioned, just a lot of wind. And they just put a new severe out, like I thought. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So lots of wind here, continuing that severe due to the strong winds downstream that we're going to see there. Yeah. I don't think they're going to continue that, but you got 2 distinct surges of very strong winds. And the first thing I think about is I-65. So if you're on I-65 going north or south, it will not be pleasant between around the Columbus and Edinboro, where the shopping outlets are, Taylorsville, that down to Seymour. A very strong 2 surges of wind where winds could be 70 plus, honestly, especially the one that's just south of Nashville and Brown County. There's going to be trees down. No doubt about it. There will be trees down in beautiful Brown County. Yes. So this is moving east, southeast around 45 miles per hour. Let me bring us back to the radar so you can just see also the amount of rain and wind that we're dealing with this storm. So, I mean, when we talk about torrential downpour, we mean torrential downpour. I mean, this is very heavy rain, frequent lightning. At the very least, it's going to be very loud for our northernmost counties. So we're talking about Lawrence, Jackson, Jennings counties. The radar is filling in over you tonight. And the strong wind threat that we're seeing that's blowing from areas like Bloomington and Nashville, Indiana, moving into those spots like Seymour and also northwestern Jennings County as well. Yeah, those warnings both go to 45 after, so we're down to about 8 minutes. And I don't think they're going to reissue those for tornado warnings. I don't think, but severes, you're going to see more severe thunderstorms, especially that big one you saw that Mallory pointed out, just about the size of Rhode Island. Just kidding. It's a pretty big old warning, and that's got a lot of wind. They're covering 2 surges of wind. Yeah. You can see them on the screen. These 2 right here. Look at them. See the 2?
Yeah, right there. Both of those are screaming wind, especially the ones just southeast of Nashville.
Yeah, so I overlaid the warnings here, and it does look like where the tornado warnings in our system, it's a red box, and then your severe thunderstorm warnings are the yellow box.
Yeah.
And so whenever you see typically a severe thunderstorm warning issued downstream, it means they're pretty confident that there's going to be a wind threat, not as confident that they're going to see that additional rotation.
Yeah, the rotation has really changed. It's just evolved. It's a wind signature with heavy rain. Yeah, that's the main threat right there. The other storm that Mallory and I have been alluding to is going through right now. It's recycling. So I believe there was a tornado on the ground somewhere in the Wabash. And right now it's trying to reform as we speak. It's getting a little better organized in last scan. Bedford. You've got maybe an hour.
Yep, so this storm right here.
Yeah.
Let me see the latest information.
What's the movement on that
thing? The movement,
thing?
yeah. I feel like a lot of them, they've just been putting 45.
Yeah.
This one says 55.
Yeah, I don't know. Somewhere around 50. It's moving off east-southeast. So that's going to go in our, it's definitely coming. For sure you're going to get heavy rain and wind. Hopefully the rotation weakens off. It will be there. What time you got it in Bedford? You want to track it for me?
This one says 11:28. You know, it might be between 11:15 and 11:30, depending on where you live in Bedford. That's if it's moving 50 miles per hour. If it's moving 55, it might be a few minutes earlier than that.
So we may break in during the 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So once again, Lawrence County, we are watching this cell that's just crossed over into the Indiana side from Illinois.
Yep. Those two tornado warnings, I believe, are on their last. They're going to die here in 5 minutes. They can't expire them. The software doesn't allow them to get rid of it, so they'll just let it die. I don't believe you'll see a red box on that one go east. The rest of the area is just getting strong wind. I'm looking at the latest scan. Still a lot of wind. Not as bad as it was. Still a lot of wind on State Route 46, east of Nashville, heading towards I-65. A lot of wind, heavy rain, not a good night to go driving and singing that song by Eddie Rabbitt, I Love a Rainy Night.
Yeah, so torrential rainfall, we have a flood watch, we have a tornado watch, we have a few severe thunderstorm warnings. Weather impact alert, that's why we had this issued for tonight. We just have a very strong storm system, a lot of wind energy that's not typical for this time of year. And that's why we really have to pay attention to these storms, especially when they're nocturnal. Because nighttime tornadoes, don't like them.
Yeah, they put a new tornado warning out on that storm. It's going closer to bed. Yeah, they're moving it further east. What's the new movement on the new one they put out? Still 55. Where'd they go?
40. So it's slowed down.
Yeah, it didn't look 55. Both of us thought that.
I was going to say 55 is pretty.
Didn't look that way. So definitely the northern tier counties better be prepared. Lawrence, Jennings, Jackson, please be prepared for a possible tornado warning somewhere between 11:15 and 11:30-ish, somewhere in there.
Yep, so we're watching that storm
and
downstream.
Our storms are going to die here. The tornado warning will be gone in moments.
So reason we popped on here was due to this tornado warning that was issued for just that northwestern corner of Jackson County in southern Indiana. These storms very strong, moving out of Bloomington, Nashville, Indiana, and cutting toward Jackson County and Jennings County in southern Indiana as well. And at the very least, you have a severe thunderstorm warning in place for some strong winds. Also, a lot of heavy rainfall, frequent lightning with these storms that are rolling through tonight. So we say this time and time again, but there's a reason that we do reiterate and we really emphasize that you have multiple ways to receive severe weather alerts. Hopefully you've been charging your devices out ahead of tonight. Make sure that things are turned up loudly in case you do try to get some sleep tonight, because this is just the beginning of the storms that will be pushing through from north to south. Right now, they're more single cellular, or they're more out on their own. And as as they are like that, as we see any kind of supercells, they can really tap into rotation and cycle up and down and create some tornado signatures. And then once they fuse more into that single line, that's when you're looking at something that transitions more to a wind threat with maybe some embedded spin-ups and also some heavy rainfall as well.
Yep. So we have the one storm with wind. It's actually showing a little rotation in the last scan. So
they just extended it.
Yeah, I just saw it. It just popped right up. It went from a wind threat and it's recycling. See the little gap there?
Yeah.
And it totally, what we call is a triple point. So the triple point is where a new cell will form and re-rotate on the southeast side, and that's what's going on. So there's a new tornado warning. And that's moving off to the east-southeast, and Mallory will track it out there, but it definitely is heading towards I-65. I can tell you that, and it'll be just north of Seymour.
Yeah, so this is now in effect for portions of northeastern Jackson County and west central Jennings County. This is a new tornado warning that was just issued from the National Weather Service due to this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 7 miles southeast of Nashville, Indiana, or 15 miles southwest of Columbus, moving east at 55 miles per hour. And of course they're saying east, but really it's southeast. And you can always tell the direction that these storms are moving in based on the polygon. So here it's like these storms are obviously moving in this direction because of how that polygon is moving. So let's take a look at it and we can put a track on it. 55 miles per hour. Looks like it's where this little squiggle is. I know that's very scientific, squiggle, but you can also see it, yeah, it's trying to tighten back up. After it bowed out and then...
It totally changed again.
Yeah.
Very persnickety tonight.
Yeah, tighten back up. So I'm gonna put a cone on this and call out some areas.
Awesome.
So here is the tracker here. Mount Healthy, 1051. Jonesville, 11 o'clock Eastern, 11:03 Seymour, 11:07 Fleming, 11:11 Four Corners. If it hangs together for North Vernon, it would be in that general area at 11:16. And this is if it's moving 55 miles per hour, which is a pretty quick movement there.
Yeah, 65 is going to go right over the interstate.
Yeah, 11:21 will be Paris. So I can kind of put this in the loop here. And as we mentioned, we were watching it showing more of a wind signature, bowing, and then
boy, it just changed quickly.
Yeah, it tries to tighten right back up there.
Yeah, that was smart of them to put a tornado warning out. Jonesville, I-65, really got to be prepared. It's got one little area where it's really trying to form right now. A lot of it is a wind surge, but there's one distinct area. I don't have any little town right there, Mallory. It's a small little community just southeast of Nashville, off of that State Route 50, whatever it is, 50. I can't read the map there.
Yeah. I'll zoom into a few spots here that are showing up in my system. We have Beck's Grove. I mentioned Mount Healthy included, Bobtown, Reading, Seymour, of course, Rosstown. So if any of those names come to mind, it's time to head to your safe place. We're watching this storm that's had a history of producing, at the very least, strong winds, and at the very most, these kind of rotational signatures that we look for when we try to spot any kind of tornado potential. Yeah,
one thing we look at is on this software, we look at the amount of rotation. It is maxing out in the last 2 minutes, right along that state route southeast of Nashville, right there.
Yeah, so you're seeing that here in velocity, wind speed, wind direction. So anytime we have bright greens, bright reds together, we don't like it. That means winds are strong and they're moving in opposite directions, which means that storm is trying to rotate. Yeah. So that's something that we.
I circled it on my radar scope. If you want to, you can see over there.
Yeah, the ROI computer. If you can bring that up at some point, that's what John will be working off for some radar analysis. And we can always take a look at that from time to time when we do have.
Yeah, there it is right there. Yeah.
Yeah, so wind speed, wind direction, that rotation that we're seeing around Pikes Peak, Beck's Grove, heading toward Mount Healthy. So once again, we have a new tornado warning This will take us through 11:15 tonight as this storm continues to push to the southeast.
That's a good warning. And like they said, we've been hitting Bedford a lot in the last hour. Bedford, that storm coming out of western part of Indiana will be in Bedford by, I would think, by 11:20, 11:30, somewhere in there.
Probably by the time this one, either gets extended or however it evolves here.
It's going to be a busy night. If you're in southern Indiana, it's going to be a busy next 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
here's that big picture view of what we're looking at. I'll kind of give you some bearings for those who are in the Louisville metro area and who are also just in Kentucky counties as well. Things are quiet for you. If you look toward the north, you might be seeing some lightning. Otherwise, the heavy rainfall, these severe storms, they are currently rolling through our northernmost counties. So we're talking Lawrence County, Jackson County, Jennings counties. And a lot of these storms earlier this evening were hanging out just along and south of I-70. Between Indianapolis and Bloomington. And then they're cutting just enough southeast now to be cutting into some of our viewing areas here at WHAS in our Kentuckiana areas. So once again, we're tracking these individual storms that are packing a punch with damaging winds and also some rotation that we've been mentioning. And that's why we do have several warnings in effect right now, including a severe thunderstorm warning. But pretty much most of that has now been overtaken by this new tornado warning for northeastern Jackson, northwestern Jennings counties in southeastern Indiana, south central Indiana until 11:15.
Yeah, so a little bit of good news. The rotation is a little more broad, so the closer the green and the reds are together, like your faucet letting go your bathtub, that's more indication of a tornado. Right now it's a little broader, which is good. It's got another wind surge. It was really weird. That strong couplet lasted for about 3-4 minutes, and now we're back to wind again. It's very fickle.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of wind. See that on the velocity? There's a lot of wind heading to I-65 between Columbus, Jonesville. Probably got, 5-6 minutes, and it's going to shellac I-65. Please be careful. If you can pull over a north side of Columbus or Seymour, just give it a few minutes and let it go past, because they are really going to get pounded with wind. That's going to be coming from the west.
Yes.
And you're going north-south. That's not good for an empty tractor trailer.
Not at all. And as we've been mentioning before as well, just the amount of rainfall. So you've got
very heavy rain.
A lot of wind, very strong winds, but also torrential rainfall. Anytime, obviously, you have reds on radar, I mean, we're talking heavy rainfall rates, efficient rainfall producers, and what we've been seeing behind some of these supercells that we had earlier tonight are flood warnings. Now, none of those are currently in effect for our area, but Terre Haute over into central Illinois, up near Springfield, Champaign, the green polygons that we're seeing here. So it's kind of 1-2 punch of obviously some very strong winds, some potential rotation, a lot of lightning, and then your heavy rainfall threat as well. And because of that, we do have that flood watch for many of our counties along and north of 64 until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So please be aware of that. Always take flooding threats very seriously as well. Obviously, many of us are concerned and always more nervous about tornado threats for good reason, but
especially at night.
Flash flooding should also be taken very seriously. Hopefully you don't need to be out on the roads tonight. Stay at home.
So the main show right now, we have 3 things we're really concerned about. The one is the storm that's heading towards I-65. I know they have a tornado warning on it at Indianapolis, but right now it looks like a strong wind threat, maybe 75 miles an hour between Columbus and Jonesville on Interstate 65. Very heavy rain is our second big thing that Mallory just pounded, and correctly so. Flash flooding at night is never good. And the third one is this persistent supercell that came flying east of St. Louis and has been on the ground off and on, been rotating for about 2 or 3 hours now. And it's getting closer and closer to Bedford, and that warning is getting closer and closer to Jackson County. So be prepared for another tornado warning. It doesn't look as bad as it once did.
Not as bad.
which is a good thing.
But we always have to watch these guys.
Positive wishes, positive energy, and prayers are working. Keep them up.
Yeah. We always have to watch these storms, though, because they can kind of become a little linear, and then they can...
But when you just look at this, first thing I look at is these storms got a lot of rain in them, a lot of water. And I don't want to drive in this. Right now, I-65, right now, show them the radar right by 65 there by Jonesville. Oh, my gosh, there's a lot of wind.
Yeah, a lot of wind. I can put velocity back on here so we can see. I mean... the brightness of the colors, even if you at home don't really know exactly what you're looking at, bright colors on this kind of map, not a good sign.
That's right. A lot of wind and very heavy rain. The wind will be going sideways, and your visibility will go down less than a couple hundred yards.
I'm going to see if I can put up precipitation rate.
It's up near that truck stop. It's somewhere just north of Seymour. I think it's just south of Columbus, that rest area and truck stop there, or way station, excuse me.
Yeah. I mean, this is just an estimation, so I'm not sure how accurate this is, but, 5-minute rain rate saying, close to 4 inches an hour with some of these.
Torrential
rainfall.
It really is. So there's a lot of wind, folks, Columbus, Seymour. The good news is there's a break. If you just pulled over in Seymour or Columbus and waited 10 minutes, it will pay off immensely. Because there is a little break before the one. And Indy's got to make a decision, which I've been in there many, many, many times, what to do with that storm that's over there by Bloomfield and Linton, the one we've been talking about heading to Bedford.
Oh yeah, because right now it doesn't have anything on it.
Yeah, they gotta make a decision. And they're running out of time, and I've been there, and it's a terrible. There it goes. It doesn't look bad right now.
No, this one doesn't.
That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Wonderful
thing. The storm we were tracking, potential impacts toward Bedford. It's also taking a little bit more of an easterly orientation. It's still slightly southeast, but the main storm that we are paying attention to is still this one that's going to be moving towards Seymour, moving over 65, Jonesville. Heavy rain, strong winds, some signs of rotation, some cycling there that we've been watching. It's been tightening, loosening, tightening, trying to become linear and then tightening again. So we want you in your safe place because at the very least, we're talking very strong winds here until this is 11:15. Eastern time that this tornado warning does go out for. Once again, this is right on the northern edge of our viewing area, but it does include folks in Seymour. So northeastern Jackson County, northwestern Jennings County.
The good news for Seymour is the strongest winds are just on the north side of you.
Just to the north, right.
Yeah, Seymour is one of our bigger communities. Jonesville.
Jonesville is right under the gun.
Jonesville, yeah. Jonesville, I-65, somewhere near that rest stop and way station, right in there. Very, very strong winds and torrential rainfall. I think that's the main show right there. Not much of a hail threat. And the storm that what we were worried about right now is weakened significantly. That's a wonderful
that's great
thing.
To see. Yeah.
Great news.
So the storm that John's talking about is this one that we were paying attention to off to the west. That was, it was not good looking near Robinson. It had a tornado warning on it as it passed over into Indiana and continued towards Stockton. And we were watching it for potential impacts for Lawrence County, so up near Bedford. So main show is Jonesville, I-65. And then when it goes east of there, North Vernon will probably be in. They're going to have to issue that severe further east. That's going to have to be expanded for
sure. North Vernon, you're going to be under severe for sure. It's coming. You're not there yet, but it will be before you know it. So
I just put a line on this or a cone in terms of potential track if it's moving 50 miles per hour. Jonesville, 11:03, so here in the next few minutes, and then North Vernon by 11:21. So that's after the 11:15 warning that's currently out for the tornado, and also the severe, I believe. So we'll see that likely issued down.
My guess is they won't, even though we had that brief 3 or 4 minute rotation, I think they'll go severe and they won't toward this one again, unless something dramatically changes, Mallory.
Yeah. So let's kind of give a big picture view, show everybody what we're looking at here. If you live in Louisville, Kentucky, in general, in any of our Kentucky counties, things are quiet right now. All this activity is in our WHAS 11 viewing area off to the north. So we're talking Lawrence County, we've been paying attention to Jackson and Jennings counties. And we popped on air because we were watching a storm that was around Bloomington, Indiana, cutting into Nashville, Indiana, and it had a tornado warning on it, just moving into the northwestern corner of Jackson County. And we've seen it evolve. It's changed from some rotation to more of a straight line wind threat to back to more rotation, and a lot of heavy rainfall, as we've been mentioning throughout this cut-in, a lot of lightning as well. So these are very strong storms, torrential rainfall right over 65 right now, frequent lightning as well, and as we mentioned, at the very least, very strong winds. So
the Storm Prediction Center put a little mesoscale discussion that's kind of in for all the weather weenies. And they're still very concerned about tornadic supercells, basically in southern Indiana, going into central Illinois. One of the things we worry about is what's called the low-level jet, which is winds just off the surface. And there's all these strong winds pushing just off the surface with a lot of moisture, and they're interacting with this wind shear, and that's a bad combination. Isn't it, Mallory?
Yeah, we don't like to see that.
So I think the threat for the next 2.5 hours is southern Indiana and Illinois. So basically along the north of the river and going back. Look at that mess all the way east to St. Louis from Effingham. That's on the border of Terre Haute and north of Vincennes, and then across our northern part of our viewing area right now.
Yeah, so we're seeing that redevelopment there, and I know a lot of folks think, you know, we were talking about this in our live stream. When the sun goes down, we lose the storm fuel, but this kind of setup,
doesn't matter if we have cloud cover.
It doesn't, and you know, we have so much wind energy, as John mentioned, and you might have heard the wind gusting outside of your window, even here in Louisville or southern Indiana, even if you weren't under any kind of storm warning in the area, because we just have all this wind that's coming in from the south. It's ushering in more moisture, more fuel, and we were talking about this during our live stream, dew points. So these dew points are impressive. Louisville's dew point, John, has gone up to 68. So
yeah, we were 62 at like 9 p.m. and now we're 68. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy.
John and Mallory, I just wanted to jump in real quick. Just came in from the newsroom as we coming on here at 11 o'clock where you're watching our continuous coverage. I want to go back to you both to pinpoint on Metro Louisville. Our crews in the newsroom are right now making calls to those folks up in southern Indiana, Seymour, to get any confirmed reports from the tornado warning areas. But as we go through the evening hours, do you see the tornado threat lessening for Louisville? And where do we stand with any of that storm system moving right in through the downtown area?
Yeah, so a lot of that, really the greatest threat, and I know John can expand on this as well, we're still looking at Indiana as being our threat for that rotation that we're watching. It's just kind of this same corridor that we're seeing with these storms that are continuing to build in central Illinois over into central and southern Indiana as well. And then eventually these storms will work their way south.
Eventually is a good word.
It's going to take some time. It's certainly going to take some time tonight, but as they congeal, so when you see these individual cells, that's when you're dealing with more of that rotation or tornado threat. And when they start to congeal a bit, they typically turn into more of a wind threat, a heavy rain threat. You can still see some embedded rotation within the line, but it's not as much of a concern as these standalone storms that we've been seeing.
Yeah, I'll second that. I think, Doug, the main threat is along and north of the river. There's not a non-zero threat in Louisville, but the main threat is going to be especially our northern communities, our Du Bois, Washington, Orange, Jackson, Lawrence, Jennings.
So this system is pretty much stayed true to what you all were concerned about hours ago, that once it started dropping close to this area, you said we'd probably see tornado watches, then warnings. I see all of that lightning on there. Is that another major factor on this storm tonight?
Lightning is major. That's certainly what we're seeing tonight, and lightning can be an indication of storm energy. And, you know, it can also show you if certain storms are strengthening or weakening depending on how much lightning there is. So we have torrential rainfall, we have frequent lightning, and we have very strong winds that we're all watching with these storms. And, you know, the secondary threat that we're watching with this heavy rainfall is that flooding potential. And, you know, we were hitting this hard during our earlier newscast, the flood watch from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. And that's still, of course, in place along and north of 64, and we have a new tornado watch as well, and I can pull that up for...
I just want to jump in while you're getting that too. Here at 11:02, our crews, again in our newsroom, have been talking to police dispatchers in the areas where you all had tornado warnings and watches. Seymour, Indiana, we just got off the phone with them. The dispatchers tell us that crews are out currently surveying the area around Seymour. No major damage coming in so far, just branches are falling. So that's good news. How does that report, John and Mallory, match up with what you all
that checks
on the live radar?
It's just north of
north.
Seymour. Yeah, Nashville, newsroom, call Nashville, Indiana. I'm telling you, they have got to have wind damage. That thing went flying through Nashville and Brown County State Park. I would not be surprised. There's a lot of trees down in that beautiful park. Seymour is just on the edge of this, Mallory, as that thing's crossing I-65 right now. And I think the main threat, I don't think it's going to get to Louisville for, good gracious, 2.5, 3 hours?
Yeah.
Will we hear it come through?
The wind,
Is it going to be much weakened by then? Will there be a lot of thunder and lightning in Louisville?
Thunder and lightning and wind. Garbage can alert. All your garbage cans tonight. I'm telling you, the winds are going to be howling.
Yeah. I told my husband not to put our garbage can out yet, so waiting for those storms to roll.
Ours hasn't been picked up in a couple of days. You can have it, John. It can come your way. So this thing is sinking slowly toward this area, but it has really almost stayed on a west to eastern pathway.
Yeah, so we've been watching a lot of these storms. Yeah, they're moving west to east and then slightly trending southeast. So that's taking them longer to move through the area. This is not a very progressive, quick northwest to southeast kind of line that we can sometimes get. And that's why this is going to take, you know, through the overnight hours to see any kind of indication of these storms rolling closer to the river. But obviously the reason why we are still in continuous coverage here is due to this tornado warning until 11:15. So this is still for the northeastern corner of Jackson County and the northwestern corner of Jennings County until 11:15.
It's really, it's got the right signature on reflectivity, but the velocities, there's not very strong rotation. But you just look at that whole picture. I'm telling you, this is a flash flood event in southern Indiana. Just look at the train. You got from basically central Illinois all the way to Vernon, Mount Vernon, North Vernon and Vernon and Seymour. Very heavy rain in there. There's going to be flash flood problems.
Do you agree or disagree with the tornado warnings that have been issued for this storm, John?
Well, I know why they issued it, but it's weakened right now. It is definitely weakened. It was good. It looked very promising, unfortunately, for a tornado about 20 minutes ago, but it's definitely weakened.
That's great news, though.
It is great news. We don't want tornadoes.
No, we don't.
Right. Yeah, we've been watching some of these cells, and the first tornado warning that we cut in for, you know, it showed a sign of some kind of rotation, some kind of couplet there. Became more linear, still with very strong winds, which it's important to take severe thunderstorm warnings seriously as well, because some of these can get up to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I saw some earlier outside of our viewing area up to 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Illinois. So those can do a lot of damage. They can do as much damage as a tornado. But, you know, we've been kind of seeing this tighten and then loosen and then tighten, and now it's just kind of it's a little junkier now.
I think they're going to let this one go, Doug. I just believe if anyone for news reports, it's Nashville was the worst damage I have seen on radar, at least. It was showing 80 miles an hour at about 1,000 foot off the ground. That's a very strong indication, a very strong wind. And I'm telling you, the flood threat, if you look at some of the flood products, Mallory, I think flash flood warnings are coming soon, very soon.
Yes. So that's kind of the 1-2 punch with this system tonight, is not only the wind threat, the tornado threat, but also as we keep talking about the heavy rainfall threat.
We talked to the Nashville, Indiana police. You were talking about Brown County,
Yes.
Indiana.
Yep.
So far, they're not able to pass along any information at this time. I don't know exactly how to read into that. But as you said, John, they were right in the thick of it. Again, earlier we reported Seymour, Indiana, which is squarely in the WHAS-11 viewing area. Dispatchers there are telling us crews are out still surveying, but no major damage.
I think they're going to let it go.
For Seymour.
Yeah, where we've been watching some of that rotation, just not as impressive now.
No, it looks like a flash flood.
Yeah, around Jonesville over to North Vernon, so.
Yeah. I think that warning will be expired. So if you're folks in Seymour, even though the severe comes down to you, I think the threat was up to the north of you.
How much rain are you talking about since you're worried about the flooding now? How much is coming down out of this? Can you tell?
Well, this is a product called rainfall rate. So it tries to figure out the instantaneous rate at which rain is falling. And this says, close to 3.5 to 4 inches per hour.
That's enormous.
So that's a lot. This isn't ground truth. This isn't saying, hey,
I think 2 to 3 inches is on the table for the
this
hour.
just gives you that.
And they keep reforming.
Yeah.
So they are training. They're rolling back over the same area?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at all that off to the northwest. So that is what's to come, and because it's taking kind of that east-southeast orientation and not just blasting through, it's going to continue to cause some flooding issues overnight.
You're going to see reports by dawn somewhere between Terre Haute, Bloomington, Seymour. There's going to be high water problems tonight.
We've been talking about the tropical storm down in the Gulf. Earlier when I was watching World News Tonight, Ginger Z was reporting that some of that moisture is now flowing up. That's why we're so humid here. Can that be the case with the way this storm system is moving?
A little bit. But we had the low pressure system brought all that warm air up today that Mallory was talking about. Our moisture, our dew point has gone up, about 9 degrees in the last?
Yeah, I can pull that up right here. So we're at 68 right now for our dew points in Louisville.
That's a lot.
But take a look just off to the west.
Oh my.
70s. Yes. So, and yesterday we had dew points in the 50s. So
it was gorgeous yesterday.
It was beautiful weather, low humidity, and we've just had, you're feeling those strong winds outside, gusty winds, and they're ushering in that warmth and humidity that you need for these storms to.
And they're feeding all these storms, and there's a warm front to the north of us, so these storms are firing on, and we have wind energy up top from the jet stream.
Will this be fueling a rainy day tomorrow, or is this going to clear for us by sometime midday Friday?
Oh, Friday will be fine.
I mean, excuse me, Thursday.
Yeah, tomorrow, Louisville's kind of weird. I think Louisville will have some very sporadic rain. It's mainly south of Louisville during the day, don't you think?
Yeah, so we talked about this in our stream, but this model is trending a little too slow. But everything's going to try to push to the south tomorrow. But this boundary kind of stalls out a bit. So if we have kind of redevelopment, we're really tracking areas, I would say, along and south of the parkways, more so in south central Kentucky. The strongest risk really gets pushed down to the south, but we could get some activity. It's not going to be anything like what we're seeing tonight, though, in terms of our severe weather risk. Could have some gusty winds at times. Heavy rainfall that could lead to localized flooding will be more of a concern tomorrow, especially south, if we do get what we keep mentioning, training. So those are showers and storms that track over the same areas.
So here's some reports out of Indianapolis, Doug, for some counties up by Bloomington. Public source reported tree damage, power failures in Bloomington. I don't know all these counties. Greene County, a lot of trees down.
Well, as we know, Bloomington was hit hard. What was that, just a couple of months ago?
Yeah, during the newscast we talked about it.
It came very close to the campus of IU, did not hit the campus of IU, but there was some businesses just to the west of the campus.
That warning's got 4 minutes. They're going to let it go in 4 minutes. I don't think we'll have a tornado warning in mere moments. They can't expire it, in case you didn't know.
Where do we stand on our ground situation in Louisville as far as if we were to get a lot of rain coming out of this? Have we made up for our drought conditions here?
Yeah, and we've had some breaks in between some of these storms that we've had off and on over the last few weeks to where we'll be fine at first, but as with any of these storm systems, if you get enough heavy rain in a short period of time, you're going to have some localized flooding concerns. We tend to see that more so heightened in urban areas, when draining isn't the best. So that's still something that we have to watch, and that's why many of us from Louisville northward, we are at the very least included in this flood watch until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And in addition to that, we've also been talking about the tornado watch that was expanded. So if you were watching our newscast earlier this evening, we did have a tornado watch in effect for our northernmost counties, Lawrence, Jackson, Jennings, and hey, those were the counties that got hit first tonight. But what we're looking at here is how things have filled in. So National Weather Service went ahead and issued this now right along 64 in areas off to the north. And with that, this is in effect until 5 o'clock in the morning. So this lets you know that what we're seeing in our northernmost county, as we keep saying, it's going to take some time to drift down to the south, but still looking at that best tornado threat in southern Indiana compared to Kentucky.
2 minutes and that warning will expire.
Yeah, so what John's talking about is this tornado warning that we've been watching off and on right on the northern edge of our viewing area that crossed over 65 with the strong winds, the heavy rainfall, the frequent lightning, and yeah, you'll notice here velocity is just not looking like it was.
Yeah, they're going to let it go. Will be no tornado warnings here in about 90 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then the storm that I was worried about that was coming towards Bedford, so the positive wishes and good energy work. That storm, believe it or not, is just a heavy rainer that's coming into the northwest side of the Jackson County. The storms of interest, there's a lot of storms of interest back to Illinois. So it's going to be a long night. Mm-hmm. I still believe the main threat is our northern 7 or 8 counties.
Mm-hmm. So John's talking about all this redevelopment here that we're seeing.
That's exactly right.
So you'll notice this is all kind of taking a similar track, moving east and then southeast.
It will start pivoting in about 2 hours. You'll see a more southeast movement. Mm-hmm. But for right now, this is a heavy rain threat across, and we'll be out in about 30 seconds. You should have no tornado warning.
Mm-hmm.
So was there any confirmation of a tornado in Monroe County, Indiana, or anywhere near the Bloomington area? I know there was concern, and some cameras showed the tornado-producing storm there, but I don't see any confirmed.
Okay, the report in the chat is
there was damage, a lot of damage in Monroe.
Entrapment and injury in progress on Buskirk Road in Monroe County, Indiana. That was from 20 minutes ago. Could be from a tree down. There's not much information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does look like the focus is up there, according to some of the official Facebook pages from the official government pages up there. Reports like law enforcement and first responders trying to respond to multiple areas north and west of Bloomington for tornado damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that warning's gone. Yep.
Yeah, so the worst of it has certainly been with that original warning that we were watching. That storm was coming out of Bloomington and Nashville, Indiana, moving into Jackson and Jennings counties, and had a history of producing damage that we saw with some large trees down in Monroe County, Indiana, and some siding and roof damage up there as well.
Yeah, you saw those? Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So are we clear of tornado warnings now for the viewing area?
Yep.
Okay. If you all would like to regroup, we can begin our newscast, touch base on the weather, look at forecast ahead, and to get some of our top stories. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. If we're okay to do that back in the control room, we're going to begin the WHAS 11 night team right now for the next few minutes. Stay with us. And welcome everybody here at 11:15. You are watching the WHAS 11 night team, and we have been under a tornado watch in Metro Louisville. We've had very windy conditions across the area. It's still warm, but no rain here yet. Look at the sky there. We're showing you this Metro camera. You can see it sort of breaking up, but the clouds moving at a pretty good clip. But let's show you our live Max HD radar if you've been with us for continuous coverage here on WHAS TV 11 and WHAS 11 Plus. That radar really been lighting things up, especially to our north. Some of the most important storm damage we have been hearing about is around Monroe County, Indiana. That's the Bloomington, Indiana area again. So we're going to come on here with our newscast. Good to be with you. I'm Doug Proffitt as we do bring you team coverage now, continuing from our Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell and our WHAS 11 Extreme Weather Specialist John Gordon. We do want to begin with Mallory and talk about the tornado danger for this area and the remainder of southern Indiana, Mallory, as we go now through the evening hours.
Hey there, Doug. So yes, as you mentioned, we've been tracking these severe storms just in our northernmost counties so far. And these were the areas that were included in a tornado watch as early as earlier this evening. So we're talking Lawrence County, Jackson, Jennings counties, and these were clipped by a tornado warning about an hour or so ago. So kind of that northern edge of Jackson County moving into Jennings counties. At this time, we don't have any active tornado warnings, but we still are tracking a few severe thunderstorm warnings due to strong winds that are now east of Seymour. But we still have a lot of activity on the northwest side of this. So you're talking about areas like Effingham in Illinois and additional storms that are currently tracking over the same areas, and that can lead to not only, of course, the wind and tornado threats that we're concerned about, but also the bigger picture view of the flooding threat as well. Because at the very least, these storms have a lot of heavy rainfall, they have frequent lightning, they have gusty winds, and so once the wind and tornado threat rolls through, in addition to that, we have very high precipitation rates. So that leads to any kind of flooding potential. So tornado watches, we still have this one currently. This is for our northernmost counties until 1 a.m. But the one that we're seeing actually for areas down to the south, and I'm going to step off screen so I can show you that, this one has been issued for areas around 64 and areas northward until 5 o'clock in the morning. So we're waiting for all of that activity that's off to our north to sink down to the south and roll through here. So currently in Louisville, things are quiet, things are warm, things are windy. We have wind gusts of 33 miles per hour. The dew point, that has been increasing over the last just couple of hours in the upper 60s, and temperatures are still quite warm in the low to mid 80s right now.
You all been going around the clock. You started on WHAS 11 Plus at before probably 10 o'clock. Been on the air, so we want to talk a little bit about the evening hours. John, is it rare for us to have these kind of tornado threats now in going in here to mid-June? We're 17 days into June. I don't recall a lot of tornado warnings in July.
This is an April pattern, right? This is April, and this is very unusual. It's going to be a busy night, folks. It's really going to be busy. We got a wind threat, tornado threat, and definitely a flash flood threat tonight.
So we worry about people who are getting ready to go to bed.
Right.
So the words you would tell people right now, we're not out of the woods yet. There are several hours to look out for coming.
Yeah, and this is why we keep reiterating and emphasizing have ways to receive alerts. You know, I know you want to go to sleep, I understand, but we want you to make sure you have the information that you need. WHAS 11 Plus app. And also, you know, there are multiple ways to receive alerts. A great way is the NOAA weather radio. Make sure everything's just charged, turned on loudly in case we do have additional warnings overnight, because at the very least we have some strong winds, we have heavy rainfall, severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood warnings, and potentially some additional tornado warnings as well.
Now, great folks in the newsroom have been busy. They've been on the phone. The report coming out of Monroe County, Indiana now is they're telling us they have nothing there in certain areas, I think, because as we know, there were reports north of Bloomington. Also, Indiana State Police Bloomington say they do have tree and roof damage. So that at least matches up with a lot of what you all
That
saw.
storm between Bloomington and Nashville, there's definitely damage in there. No question about it.
A lot of wind.
Do you expect these storms, John, to fire up again tonight? I mean, are we going to maybe talk about the threat going down, go to sleep, and then all of a sudden something pops again?
Okay, so there's two different threats tonight. Threat one is basically north of the river. Heavy rain, tornado threat, wind threat. When that line comes to Louisville, it is a wind threat. We got about 20, 30 minutes of incredible wind and heavy rain.
So if you're just joining us, the warnings, tornado warnings, have been dropped. That's why we're on the air with our newscast. And that's what we're going to continue, just keep going through the night. We'll take ABC programming, Jimmy Kimmel at 11:30, but you all will drop in if you need.
Oh, yeah. We'll be here tonight watching it. We have our morning team that kind of tag teams in here to keep an eye on things. And as we mentioned, we still have a tornado watch until 5 o'clock in the morning. So
all that stuff in Illinois is coming our way. Look at your favorite weather app. I'm telling you, there's more to come.
We know what the favorite weather app is.
WHAS 11.
Okay, John, the extreme weather specialist. Thank you both. Well, now more of the top stories live right now. We're going to take you to the construction zone.
It's the greatest moment of my life.
We know the greatest moment.
One's east of our area, just northeast of Jefferson County, Madison.
thank you all for joining us on the TV side. Unfortunately, we do have to cut in for another tornado warning. I know we just wrapped up the 11 o'clock newscast, but what you're looking at on your screen here is a tornado warning until 12:15 Eastern time. And this is once again in the far northern reaches of our viewing area here in Kentuckiana. So this is far north of Louisville, but it does include some of our viewing area here in Jackson County and just on the northeastern side there of Lawrence County in Indiana. So we've been watching this storm, and this was one that looked like it was straightening out a bit and then has tried to kind of wrap back up. And with it, a little bit of that rotation is coming back into the center. So you can see that here in velocity. I'm going to pull that up where you're seeing this red and green kind of blob there, that circulation there. It was just around Guthrie and is now pushing off to the east right there on the north edge of the county line. That will be moving into Jackson County. So currently this is in Lawrence County, moving back into Jackson County, and the National Weather Service office in Indianapolis went ahead and issued a tornado warning for this until 12:15. So this is, as I mentioned, a storm that we were watching when it was far off to our west. And we have to keep an eye on these because they can be sneaky as they try to kind of wrap back up at times, tap into some of that rotation if they can.
It looks better on Indianapolis radar.
And pull and kind of wrap back up. So, and then this other tornado warning that you're seeing on the screen there, that red, that's just outside of our coverage area.
Yeah, you can see it really well if you go to the Indy radar there, Mallory.
Okay.
You can see it better than ours or better than Evansville. There's a couplet right there. So there's a storm near Guthrie. You can almost, and Mallory can show you the little hook echo and the rotational couplet. I don't know these towns very well, but it's just east of Guthrie. They took a movement to the east at 50, so that puts in Seymour and, Jonesville again. That seems to be our popular town of the night.
Yes.
There it is, right there. She's nailed it.
So right there, it's Yellowstone. It's
Yellowstone.
the name of the town there. So this is moving east, and
it's got a definite pendant, a little hook echo there.
so there's just enough rotation there for National Weather Service up in Indianapolis. Good call to issue this tornado warning until 12:15. And Seymour, the previous storm stayed just off to your north. This one, I know you probably just got out of your safe place. It's important to head back in if you can, because what we're watching there is that the cell that you're seeing trying to kind of hook back up again. And this is moving east around 55 miles per hour. So it's a pretty quick moving storm.
So the thing that's really interesting, that is a legit tornado warning. If you look at the signature, it's got a looping S, and then it comes back right in the inflow, the little free area on the south, just southeast of where the warning, on the beginning of the warning. That's where a tornado, where Mallory just circled. If you're there near Yellowstone, I'm serious. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. You need to get to your safe shelter right now. That means I-65, Jonesville, is really in the threat of this storm as it moves off to the east, southeast, and it's totally legit to have a tornado right in there, and it's at night. I just hate this.
So I'm going to put the warning back over the overlay.
That would be
here.
great, because I don't know these towns in that county right there. I just don't.
So this one is moving east, still, I mean, about 55 miles per hour is what the warning had. So let me...
Looks like Freetown is the one I see it's heading towards.
Yes, Freetown, you are in the crosshairs here of this tornado warning, so please get to your safe place. Jonesville, you're included in this as well. And eventually this would head towards Seymour around 12:20 if it hangs together. So
yeah, that's a really impressive signature on radar, unfortunately. I hate this. And it's really between 3 radars, so we triangulate, believe it or not. We look at the Louisville radar, we look at the Evansville radar, we look at the Indianapolis radar. But that thing...
Yeah, it's hooking back up.
That thing's a legit deal. And just for our communities that are east of our viewing area, they put a tornado warning east of our listening area, but over towards Cincinnati. That also has really tightened up in the last 5 minutes. That's over near Versailles, Indiana. And I don't know these towns, Dillsboro. Yeah, that's a legit cell too. So they've ramped right back up as we thought they might. And if you're in Seymour, Jonesville, Interstate 65, you need to have a plan of action now, right this second.
Yeah.
Don't they, Mallory?
Yes, this is all moving east. And as John mentioned, this is, I mean, this storm has just evolved in the last, 15 minutes?
Yeah, that's because, so Doug asked us during the 11 o'clock news, is that this pattern is more indicative of late April, early May. We have just such strong wind energy. Coupled with these dew points that are almost near 70 degrees. That's a very bad combination. So this storm's moving off to the east-southeast, and I expect Interstate 65, which we mentioned just an hour ago, near Jonesville and Seymour. Very heavy rain with this thing, and it's wrapping up, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So places like Freetown, Jonesville, Seymour, get to your safe shelter. It is moving east at 50, 55 miles an hour.
Yeah, so Jackson County, Indiana, if you're listening, the northern side of it, you are under a tornado warning now until 12:15 due to this one storm that we've been watching. We've been watching this since it was in Illinois.
Yeah.
And it showed impressive signs of rotating. It had tornado warnings on it. And then we thought it was kind of straightening out a bit.
And then
it lost
just
that
blew
rotation.
up.
And now it wrapped right back up. And we can see that with storms like this. So that's why it's important not to let your guard down. This is why we have tornado watches issued for hours at a time, because we can see these storms within that show signs of rotating and potentially dropping a tornado. So we have this tornado warning, which is why we are breaking into your coverage here on the television side and continuing coverage on WHAS 11+. This is until 12:15.
Yeah, the new scan came in, so on the half a degree, which is at about 3,400 feet. That's about as tight as you'll see.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. So where is that, Mallory, for tracking for everybody?
This is currently northwest of Freetown.
Okay.
That's kind of the biggest city.
That's what I was going to reference to.
Yeah, that's the biggest city that I see. It looks like it's north of Norman.
Let me pull that up. Freetown, Indiana.
North of Kurtz, heading toward Freetown, Acme, Cortland, and then eventually Seymour, if you look farther downstream. So Seymour, if you're getting the alerts, you're hearing the sirens, head to your safe place. You have some lead time, but this is headed your direction.
Okay, so I'll give you some towns of interest. In Yellowstone, we mentioned a few moments ago, Kurtz. The major highway before Freetown is Highway 135, Indiana 135. But then it gets a lot more populated east of there when you get towards Seymour and Interstate 65. Real strong couplet, unfortunately, life-threatening in the rural areas just west of Freetown, off on County Road 700 and County Road 625 between Houston and Kurtz. Strong indication of a tornado on the ground. And also another tornado warning that I mentioned a minute ago, really strong indication southeast of Versailles, Indiana. I know it's out of our viewing area just for awareness. And that's heading kind of towards Cincinnati Metro. That's a problem in itself right there. So this tornado warned storm, the last scan continues to show strong rotation as it moves off to the east-southeast. And I think it has a lot of heavy rain in it as well. Very, very heavy rain.
I'm rolling my computer out so I can work from the wall here.
Okay, I
so
don't
you all
think
can see me.
You won't be able to see anything. This is almost wrapped up into what's called an HP, a high precipitation supercell. So in that, you won't be able to see anything. I don't care if you're on the movie Twister, you'll see nothing.
Right.
Because it's totally wrapped around in rain, and in that
Yes.
case, you got some very populated areas. Seymour, Jonesville, Interstate 65. Storm's moving your way. The time to plan is now and get to your safe shelter. I know it's an inconvenience. I know it's the middle of the night. Please seek your safe shelter. And Mallory's pointing green and red together. Not good.
We don't like to see these colors together, especially this bright. So anytime you see reds and greens together, that means wind speeds are high and wind directions are moving in the opposite direction. And that's that combination that you need for rotation within a storm. So typically this is what National Weather Service offices look for if they're looking for signs of rotation and reasons to issue a tornado warning. And we've been seeing that. In fact, I can probably loop this for you just over maybe the last half hour to see how that's kind of tightened up there. And you'll notice we were watching it around Guthrie, and then now it's moving just north of Freetown.
Yeah, on the one of the products I look at is the NROT, the normalized rotation, and it's maxed.
Yeah.
It's like 2. 2 means there's usually a tornado.
Yeah. So get in your safe place if you are included in this tornado warning. Once again, we are watching this for Jackson County right now. Seymour, you're included in this. This will be moving toward I-65. And we did have another tornadic, or at least tornado warned storm earlier, just about an hour or so ago, impacting areas like Jonesville, and all that stayed off to the north of Seymour. But this, you could get lucky again, but we want you to stay in your safe place with the way that this storm is reacting and acting.
Yeah.
So we have this current tornado warning until 12:15 tonight.
Yeah. A lot of people like to look for what's called a CC drop, but it's too high up in the storm, and it's really rural in there. I've got my Google Maps up, and all I see is beautiful Indiana farmland and forest. Real strong, just north of Kurtz community. Kurtz is at State Road 58, and then it's County Road 625, just north of Kurtz. The next town of a sizable thing is Freetown, and that's pretty small too, actually. If you're going to have a tornado, this small area is a good place. Hope there's nobody under there. This thing really is wrapped up, Mallory.
Yeah, we don't like to see that. So I want to give everybody some perspective if you're not included in these warnings and you're wondering what we're looking at here. So this is all far north of Louisville, but still included in our coverage area here at WHAS 11, which is why we do cut into TV coverage. So far, things in Kentucky, at least in our viewing area, we're still dry. We're still waiting for all of this activity that we're seeing to move our direction. You'll notice some of these storms are starting to take a little bit more of a southeastern track here, and that will eventually pull all of this southward. But a lot of the latest timing with things moving into the metro is closer to 3 a.m., 4 a.m. So a lot of the stronger storms that we've been seeing this evening have been tracking more so central Illinois, central Indiana, in this corridor between about Indianapolis and just our northern tier of counties, Lawrence, Jackson, Jennings, close to Bloomington, Nashville we've been talking about as well. And those areas definitely got hit by, at the very least, some very strong winds earlier tonight. So we have just a ton of wind energy to tap into tonight, unusual for this time of year. And even though this is an overnight threat, so you typically think, hey, we don't have the storm fuel, we do have a lot of wind. And that's why we've been watching these storms bring a lot of wind energy and also, unfortunately, show some signs of rotation and potentially producing tornadoes.
Yeah, so latest scan continues to show. Unfortunately, they trimmed it up. So Guthrie, you're out of it now, which is good. But I would put it between Jonesville and Seymour. Seymour's larger than most people know, just the surrounding areas. So Interstate 65, so Rockford, Little Acre, that's where the rest area is up there between Seymour at the 50-mile marker over to Little Acre, Jonesville. Very populated on the north side of Seymour. Please get to your safe shelter. I think this thing's If it's not on the ground, there's a funnel
Frying.
cloud.
Yeah.
That's how confident I am. You have gate-to-gate velocities. Look at the last scan, Mallory, at the storm relative velocity. There's a road there. It's just near Freetown, it looks like. 135. That's
135.
Indiana 135.
Yeah.
So it is
Right here.
approaching 135 and Freetown. Is that about right?
Yes, that is correct. So if this means anything to you, Bald Knobs, as well as an area that we're watching, 135, that is crossing that right now because, radar scans can be a little bit delayed of what we're actually seeing right now on the ground. This is continuing to push off to the east. And as John mentioned, this might be somewhere between Jonesville and Seymour with its current track as it's pushing off to the east here. So this has been a storm that we've been watching, as I mentioned, since Illinois.
Yeah.
And it wrapped.
It came
and
to
then we were
life
like,
again.
Yeah, and we thought it was kind of straightening out a little bit, and now it's showing that sign again of track
And what's
growth.
so interesting is it's totally rain wrapped. A lot of times it's all by itself and you can see all these Twister movies and all that stuff. This thing is completely wrapped around in rain.
Yeah.
You will not see this.
No.
You will not see anything. You'll hear a noise with very heavy rain and it won't be good. Tornado warning, seek your shelter. Seymour, we're sounding the alarm for Seymour, Jonesville, Rockford. I see it's going to go through Bobtown. That looks real small. Cortland, and especially our friends who are traveling, Interstate 65. When will it be there over there towards Seymour on your track?
So they just put a purple on it, which means it's radar confirmed.
Yeah, it must have been. Let's look at
because of the TDS.
They must have saw. Let me look on that.
Yeah, he's going to look that up. I'm going to look at
there
the
it
track
is.
here.
There it is.
So 45 miles per hour. It is currently 13 miles west of Seymour. So Seymour, get in your safe place. Let's put a track on this.
Yeah, bit of a CC signature right there.
And John, do you have this currently up on your computer?
I do.
Are you watching? I don't know if producers, if you can take his ROI at any point. There we go.
Okay,
wanna
this
show the people what
signature
you're
does
looking at?
just northeast of Kurtz, on the bottom screen right there. There's a bit of a signature that there could be a little stuff being lifted right there. That's probably why they went confirmed right there. Just northeast of Kurtz, but it's completely rain wrapped. It's completely rain wrapped. You see nothing.
Yeah.
The velocity is what I really want to focus in. Let me go to one panel, just 1 second. Producer, let me go to the velocity. There we go, right here. Right there by Freetown. You see the word Freetown? Go north. See that little brown and green? That's very bad. I'll go on the other velocity. Here we go, we'll go to 2 screen. Here is the storm. You just look at it, it doesn't look as bad as it normally would, but the velocity is off the charts on my bottom screen. You see the red and the green, they're very, very close. That is a strong indication of a tornado right there on the ground. And we hate this, we really do. Let's see if we can see on the CC on this one. Let's see if we can get anything pop up. Not right now, that's out of Indianapolis, but very strong indication of a tornado right now, right northeast of Freetown. And that means, based on that track, Rockford, Little Acre, Seymour, Cortland, and Interstate 65. Very strong indication of a tornado. Please seek shelter now.
Yes, I did put a tracker on this. It does show Cortland 1219, Bobtown 1220, Seymour 1224. So get in your safe place right now. I'll actually step out of the way since I put that tracker here. So this is the storm that we're looking at in Jackson County. This is right on really the northern edge of our viewing area here in WHAS 11 kind of coverage territory. And we've been tracking this storm. It's showing that high velocity couplet, which means strong winds that are rotating. And anytime you see this purple polygon, it's always important to take a tornado warning seriously. But when it's got that purple outline, that means at the very least it is radar confirmed.
Yeah.
So we do want you to head to your safe place, Seymour, and for anywhere that's in this polygon, you've been hearing the sirens likely. Hopefully you had those multiple warnings to wake you up if you were asleep. This is marching off to the east now, around 40 to 50 miles per hour.
Yeah, so I'm still looking to see if we got, see, I don't see the signature on the CC right now, but the velocity is good enough for me.
Yeah.
The velocity is as strong as you'll see in Oklahoma. Man, the inbounds are strong. But it's right on 130, that Indiana 135.
135.
Yep, it's right there on it right now. And I just looked at a couple Google Maps, Mallory. Oh, man, there's not much, which is good, right? Very good.
Spraytown, there's 58. That's also another road.
I see that, yeah.
And around or north of 258. So if what we're saying makes sense to you, that means you're under this polygon and we want you to seek shelter.
Yeah, 258 goes, where does it go to? It goes over there towards Acme. Oh, gotta love that from the Roadrunner. Acme, Cortland, and over to Seymour. Looks to me on the most northern part of the Seymour, the city of Seymour, and Jonestown right in there. Jonesville, excuse me.
It's kind of favoring this area just north.
Yep.
Kind of right between Jones. If it continues its current track.
Yep.
This still means Seymour, you're still in your safe place.
But torrential rain on 65. So it is not going to get better for the next 30 minutes. It's only going to get worse. I-65, if you can pull over south of Seymour, if you're going north, or if you're in Columbus, just stop and get a coffee. Very bad between Jonesville and Seymour on 65. That includes Little Acre, and Rockford, Jonesville. Serious tornado situation heading north of Seymour in the next 15 minutes.
And I do want to point out that the National Weather Service in Indianapolis went ahead and just extended this into Jennings County to be safe, since we did get reports from a firefighter in Jackson County. It does look like in WS chat that a firefighter did spot a tornado on the ground. So they're going to continue this off to the east and northeast into Jennings County. That does include North Vernon. And I'm going to go ahead and see how long this was issued for until 1 a.m.
All I'll say is they may have spotted damage. That'd be very hard to spot. It's totally rain wrapped.
That's a good point.
That's a comment. I mean, I don't think I could spot this. Yeah, that's a good warning. They fanned it out. They've got a little bit of north and east. I think it may stay on the southern edge of that polygon. So if I was, I would go between Jonesville, North Seymour. The next, after that, Vernon, North Vernon needs to be on the lookout.
Yeah,
let me zoom out while you look at that storm just to see if there's anything else.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to put a tracker on this. So moving east at 45 miles per hour. I have my computer with me here on the green screen. So if you see me kind of looking off to the corner, I'm just tracking this in real time for you. So I can put a cone on this, 45, push this off to the east, has it in North Vernon around 1244. So you'll notice the other, there we go. The other cities, Cortland, 1219, Reading, 1226, Fleming, 1231, Four Corners, 1236, Queensville, 1241, North Vernon, 1244, Grayford, 1247. So just note that that's if it continues on the same path at the same speed.
Some good news. The rotation has weakened. It's still very strong. But compared to 5 minutes ago,
you're right, yeah.
Significant. I'm trying to go back and forth. The problem is the radar, the curvature of the Earth, remember Columbus. But anyway, we got to look at the Louisville radar and the Indianapolis radar to get a better handle on which angle we can see. It actually appears Indianapolis still has a better angle of the storm. Man, Jonesville. But rotation has come down. I think it's recycling. I think the storm may pick up in a few minutes, but right now it's weakening.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
We'll take anything we can get, right? So as John mentioned, it does look like it's heading closer to Jonesville, a little bit farther from Seymour. So this is a similar track from the storm that actually came in from slightly the west-northwest earlier tonight, and went more so over Jonesville, over 65, and then off to the east into Jennings County, and spared most of Seymour there. So we are still under a tornado warning. We'll be watching this, and as John mentioned, this storm could be cycling. So what that means is even though it might not look as impressive on the couplet that we're seeing, it can still tighten back up in the future. So these always bear watching, especially with a situation like this where we have, as we keep mentioning, so much wind energy. So to give everybody an idea of what we're looking at, if you're just now popping onto our live stream, we've been going since 10 p.m., first giving an update, and then we've had a few tornado warnings all in the same general area. So this is all in our far northern counties, Jackson and Jennings counties. And those were the counties that were first included in the tornado watch for good reason earlier this afternoon through 1 a.m. And then more counties got filled in for the tornado watch. But we're really watching this exact corridor for that tornado threat tonight. So southern to central Indiana over into Illinois, and maybe carrying over into the Cincinnati metro area as well.
We see a free ball. We're near Freetown somewhere. If you go to the 1206 scan, you can actually see it.
You want to show your?
Yeah, can we show my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
So show
All right,
the
let me
viewers
draw
what you're
this
looking
for
at.
everyone, then you can see it. That little blue thing right there, that is something being vaulted up into the atmosphere. Tornado debris signature. And that thing's up in the atmosphere. They're not correlated. It's an old scan for some reason. So this was at 1206. There we go. They're correlated now. So there you see the red and the green together. And then you see the debris. That's somewhere near Freetown. Near Indiana 135, Kurtz, Houston, somewhere in there. That is what a tornado looks like on radar. You ever see those blue kind of colors? That's a TDS, and that's why they went confirmed in the purple colors that Mallory was telling you about.
Yeah, so those are the things that we're looking at if we can't get eyeballs on it, which John keeps mentioning how this is rain wrapped. So it'd be hard to get eyeballs on it, not to mention the fact that it's at night. So when you're looking for those confirmed tornadoes on the ground, this is the best we can get when we have these kind of radar tools where you're looking at velocity and then also correlation coefficient, which is what he was talking about.
It's recycling right now, so there is no tornado
so
right now.
Weakening at the moment.
There's no tornado at the moment. It's cut itself off. But a lot of times what will happen is it will recycle. This has a strong history of producing tornadoes back into Illinois. We were telling you that at 10:30. The one there was on the Wabash. We thought it was weakening. It's ginned back up. And I think right now it's going under a recycling. So my guess is there might strengthen a little bit east of 65 again. So we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, so this is why National Weather Service, great call with the tornado warnings that have been issued and also for issuing this downstream. So I'm going to pop that back up. And you'll notice it's a purple box, which you might not be used to seeing when we have a purple box. That is a, quote, confirmed tornado. And
just a comment on a tornado that doesn't affect our area, but that thing's on the ground too. The one that's over there northeast of Dillsboro, that's the tornado warning over there northeast of Madison, Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that couplet is very nasty.
Yeah, and that's heading toward Florence. It looks like Kentucky.
Yeah,
so
that could be a problem. If you have anyone in the Cincinnati metro, northern Kentucky, Florence, y'all, that storm really bears a lot of watching.
Yeah, so these are the active warnings that we do have in place. Red with the purple box, confirmed tornado, red tornado warnings, green flash flood warnings, and if we had anything yellow, which we do farther off to the northwest in Illinois, that is a severe thunderstorm warning that we're watching here. And I can give you kind of a big picture view also of what we're looking at and what's to come for tonight, because, you know, this is a slow moving system. All this activity that's more so in central to southern Illinois, this is starting its very slow retreat down to the southeast. And as it does so, it'll eventually work its way into areas closer to the river and down into Louisville and Kentucky later on tonight. So we've been talking about it could be 3 or 4 a.m. until we see anything in Louisville. And we could still be tracking at the very least gusty winds, very heavy rainfall, and frequent lightning at that time.
Yep. So the good news is that one warning they issued, I still think they need flash flood warnings up the wazoo. That's just a comment. I think there's torrential rainfall right now at 65 by Jonesville and just north of Seymour. Okay, so I'll go to one screen and make it easier for everybody. There we go. Okay, so the tornado warned storm, if there was a tornado, which I think there is now, is southwest of Jonesville. It may recycle, and that's why there's a good warning up. It's very proactive. Well done. It's between Jonesville and Seymour. It's moving off to the northeast at, what did you say, 50? Something like that. Mm-hmm. Oh, we do have a flash flood warning out. Wonderful. I see one. Wonderful. We need more. And Louisville, we're fine, right? Wait about 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then we'll get down here. Other storms of note that will be a problem are the ones that are just going across the river right now, the Wabash River, northwest of Vincennes. Those will be moving towards the east-southeast through time and become a problem later on. There they go. And I think they're going to congeal into a line. It's just going to take some time. Meanwhile, at least right now, the tornado that was on the ground has lifted for the moment. It's still rotating, and it's going to try to recycle. And if it does, it will produce another tornado. So it's a very good idea to have a tornado warning out. And we're kind of getting on the edge of the Indy radar, so we're going to have to go maybe to Covington there in a minute, Mallory.
Yeah. So for those who might just be popping into our coverage, we are on air on WHAS 11. We've been on our streaming app, WHAS 11 Plus, which is free to download at any point on your smart TV and on your phone since 10 p.m. We've been streaming and through the 11 o'clock newscast. But the reason we hopped back on air is due to this tornado warning. And it was a good reason for it because we were watching that tornado signature that you see with velocity. So those are your winds that rotate, those winds that can be very strong. And you're also noticing that the National Weather Service, they are trimming the backside of it. So once this has moved through, they are trimming the backside of it, so you're no longer included. Seymour still just to the north of you, heading toward North Vernon. As John mentioned, this storm is doing what's called recycling, and so it can tighten up, show that couplet, kind of weakens a bit, and then can tighten back up, which is why it's always important, even when you think something is weakening, to keep an eye on it in case it does decide to tap back into that.
Yep. Yeah, they kept the observed on it. Right now, it is probably producing a low wind and very heavy rain and lightning. But the tornado threat, even though there's a tornado warning, has definitely come down. You stay in your shelter. They've been trimming. It's crossing 65, the worst of the storm right now. And I'm taking a look at Indianapolis. You see me looking up and down. I'll have a chiropractor later today. But anyway, the good news is it is definitely weakened. The colors, you don't see that strong green like we did, green and red together. But this is kind of what it looked like in a weekend coming out of Illinois. And then it perked right back up. So this thing may become a new problem soon. They're in a tough position. They've got a little time. Storm's moving at 55. But in about 3 minutes, they're going to have to decide what to do with this, if they're going to extend the warning to the east. My guess is they'll go severe to possible and see if it intensifies. But all these storms, Mallory, they just have that heavy rain look.
Yes.
They just do.
Yeah, tons of heavy rainfall. Obviously, anytime you see deep reds on a radar, you know that they're just coming down torrentially with that rain. And something that we were mentioning earlier in our stream and also on the newscast is how our dew points. So this is a way to tell your moisture at the surface has just greatly increased over the last several hours. We are up to a 70-degree dew point in Louisville, John.
Really?
Yep, 70.
Wow.
So
we were 50 yesterday.
Yeah, we were 50 yesterday. We were in the lower 60s. You know, it might have felt maybe a little bit muggier at times, but we've had those very gusty winds, and all of this moisture is being pulled to the north. And so this is feeding the storms that we're seeing out there tonight, not only with the rainfall rates, but also just giving them more fuel to be on the strong side. So this is why, you know, we preach it, turn around, don't drown. Obviously, take these tornado warnings seriously. Obviously, take wind threats seriously, but also take heavy rainfall, flooding threats seriously, because even though we don't have, I don't believe, any current flash flood warnings for our viewing area, I wouldn't be surprised to see more of those as the night progresses. We do have a flood watch from 9 p.m. tonight through 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then in addition to that, if you're curious about tornado watches, the one that was issued for our northernmost counties, that was the first. And then we filled in kind of the rest down to the Louisville metro, including southern Indiana through 5 o'clock in the morning.
You know, one thing, can you pull up the traffic tracker, see if there's anything on 65 that was there's crossing, see if there's any delays right in there.
See. Up to the north?
Yeah, right by Seymour, you know.
Yeah. Give me
just curious.
A moment. Yeah. I can pull that up.
I would think there would be some traffic slowdown.
Hopefully there's not too many folks on the road.
I know.
You know.
Yeah.
But that is obviously a major issue for truckers. And you know, when we tend to get winds as well, if they're especially hitting you perpendicular to the way that you're going, so north and south, winds are coming in from the west. Not a good combination there.
Not a good combination at all. Yeah, and we've been saying for 2 days now that southern Indiana was the main threat, and southern Indiana is indeed the main threat. So
traffic tracker right now still shows greens. It doesn't go super far north. You're seeing some oranges.
Thanks for showing that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I did want to look at that to see if anything would come through our system. But most of our system kind of hovers more so around the Louisville metro. But as John mentioned, dealing with very heavy rainfall rates, frequent lightning, these storms are going to be loud. They're going to pack a punch with wind, and some of them have had signs of rotation. In fact, this radar indicated tornado that we were watching for you in far northern Jackson County heading into Jennings County here. So I'm going to take a look. How does the recent scan look?
I'll tell you, that first one, can I just say this really quick?
Yeah.
That first one, I know that's not our area, but that first one's now in the metro, getting into the metro of Cincinnati. That is not good.
Oh, yeah, and that one's now radar.
They got radar confirmed. That's in the metro of Cincinnati. So that would be, let's see, where exactly is this? It may hit the Covington Airport. That is right near CVG. I think we should at least address that. That's where a lot of people fly out of. I fly out of there. Let's go to the Wilmington. Yeah, where's the radar? Yeah, it's right near CVG. Florence. Yeah. And they went radar confirmed, didn't they?
Yes.
What did they
so
say?
if you have friends and family in the Cincinnati metro area, please make sure that they are
Rising
aware.
Sun. I don't know where oh, there it is. Rising Sun. There it is. Union, Independence, Walton. Not good. This stuff is serious, folks. Very serious. Moving off to the northeast. To the east at 45 to 50 miles an hour. And there it is. Yeah, Rising Sun. Yeah, maybe right there. Let's go back and see if we can look at this.
Yeah, so John's currently looking at a storm that is tornado warned and also tornado radar confirmed in the Cincinnati metro area. So this isn't currently in our viewing area. While we start to see, the cell that we've been watching under the tornado warning kind of cycle. But a lot of us have friends and family in the Cincinnati metro, I know. and that's a very
You
popular.
can go to Mallory's screen if you would. I'm just going to look at a couple things, see if I can find it for you.
Yeah. So once again, we have one tornado warning that we're still watching. This is from Seymour over to North Vernon until 1 a.m. So this is the storm that we were watching, as I mentioned, starting in Illinois. And then it moved into Lawrence County, and it weakened somewhat, became a little bit more linear, and then tried to wrap again as it's continued to push off to the east. So we did have a radar-confirmed tornado around
If you go to my screen, I can show it.
Okay, yeah. Let's pop back over to the ROI.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So this storm, there's your hook echo. Northeast of Bellevue, southwest of Burlington. Look at the greens and the reds come together. That's not good. There it is. And that's getting into that could hit CVG. Independence, Burlington. That's in the metro. That's a serious, so we'll do a loopity-loop. I'll do that while I go to the, just give me a moment. Let's see if we see it. Now we'll go back here. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. That thing, it's surging southeast. Independence, Walton. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's not good. That's a very populated area. Anyway, I just wanted to show that. We'll go back to our other tornado warning storm, but I just wanted to show that.
No, I appreciate that. And obviously, as I mentioned, a lot of us have friends and family in the Cincinnati metro area. Make sure that they are staying weather alert tonight. But in terms of the one tornado warning that we are still watching here in Kentuckiana for our viewing area, it is the one that's currently moving through just between Seymour and Jonesville and continuing off to the east into the northern half of Jennings County. So this is until 1 o'clock in the morning. And they took away the radar confirmed outline. But regardless, this has been a storm that cycled and that showed rotation and then kind of recycled to where it loosens that a bit before it potentially tries to tighten back up. So this is why you tend to keep these tornado warnings downstream, especially when there's been a history of weather reports or radar indication from earlier with the storm.
Yep. So the good news on our tornado warning storm, there's more than one. It's crossed Interstate 65 now, and you're going towards Mount Vernon. No indication of a tornado, even though there's a tornado warning, no indication of a tornado at this moment. We'll see if it recycles and comes back together. Right now, it is not like it was 15 minutes ago, Mallory. It's totally different. Another warning, another storm that may become a problem for the Cincinnati Metro is up by Greensburg. Our next problem will be these storms by Vincennes, northwest of Vincennes and Robinson. We've mentioned Robinson more than once in Illinois. Those storms, let's do a little loopity-loop on there. Yeah, there they are. Just a little bit south of east to get down here, but the tornado threat basically is in a line for right in the next hour is basically Vincennes, Bedford, Seymour, and the Cincinnati Metro.
Yes.
That's pretty much your position. And that lightning out of those storms still is prolific, Mallory.
Right, even at this hour of night. So these storms, they're not weakening. You know, you might see some of these storms that, as we mentioned, had tornado warnings on them, quote, recycling and then kind of tightening back up in certain areas. But we still have a lot to go in terms of storm coverage tonight. At the very least, very heavy rainfall makers, gusty winds, frequent lightning, and at the very most, unfortunately, some storms that could drop a tornado, like we've been seeing with this one that cut through Lawrence County, Jackson County, Jennings County now.
My sense is they're going to drop this tornado warning in about, when does it expire? Let's see, when is the...
It expires at 1, but...
1, they're going to let it go. That's going to get out of the box in about 7 to 8 minutes. That warning will go one way or the other. It's going to go. If I was in their shoes, I would put out a severe with a tour possible we'll see what they do. That's what I would do. Plus, they're getting out of their area into Wilmington's area. The split's just east of there. I think Switzerland County, the switch. So, and then we'll be tornado free, at least briefly.
For now.
Mallory's doing great over there, folks. Give her some cheers.
Thanks. And what John's talking about is the fact that, you know, we have what's called our coverage area, right? We have the counties that we cover with our TV signal here at WHAS 11, but you also have National Weather Service offices who have different counties that they cover. So this northern edge, in fact, of the counties, basically the counties that we've been cutting into for coverage, Lawrence, Jackson, Jennings counties, these are all under National Weather Service Indianapolis. And then as you move closer to the east, that's Wilmington. And as you get obviously just that county south, you're under the Louisville area. So we have a lot of offices who work with each other to issue these storms, the warnings, and also they talk to the Storm Prediction Center for any kind of watches and things of that nature. So we've just been watching the same general area right now. And this has been the trend over the last couple of hours. Eventually, I know you're probably wondering if you're in Louisville, where are these storms? What are you talking about? They're currently all to our north. They've been taking more of a west to east movement, and we're waiting for those that are taking more of that southeast movement, which we're seeing more so in Illinois. And you can tell that as I put it on a loop. So they have that just slight southeast kind of movement here, and they will be moving into the rest of our counties through the overnight period.
Yep.
But right now we're just watching this one.
They put a new tornado warning out for the metro of Cincinnati. That's just south side. It is now not radar confirmed, but it's south of Independence. That's just a busy area. All those interstates come together.
Oh, yeah.
There's just nonstop population. Right in there. I just wanted to bring that up. But I think we're going to be tornado free very shortly.
Yeah. So this rotation that we've been watching, just not really there anymore with this particular storm, which we're thankful for, obviously.
Yeah.
So I can backtrack it a little bit to where it was. We were talking about Freetown. That was an area that we were talking about where this could have touched down. Because that, I mean, so it really came out of Guthrie.
Yep.
Here, I'm going to step off screen so you can see it. Guthrie, and then continued east around Freetown, and then we were trying it between about Jonesville and Seymour, and then it just kind of recycled there.
Yep, sure did.
So
we will be tornado free, and did they go further?
No, I think they just dropped it.
Yeah, I think that was either nothing or a severe.
Or my computer just dropped it.
I still have it over. Let me double check.
They canceled the tornado warning.
Okay, so I just got this report from our Reed Yaden. Jackson County Sheriff's Dispatch, numerous homes damaged in Freetown.
Yep.
One house described as upside down. Numerous power lines down.
Goodness.
No reported injuries at this time. Everything's still concentrated in the Freetown area. So Freetown, where we tried to...
Yeah.
I hate this stuff, okay? We hate this stuff.
Yeah.
Especially at night. Thank you, Reed. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you, Reed.
Yeah, that one, they did drop it. You are correct. You're ahead of me. So that one, we are tornado free in our listen area, but I just want to do this, if we do go off briefly. South side of the Cincinnati Metro. The south side of the Cincinnati Metro. Let me go to their... just bear with me. I'm going to go to the radar, what's called their terminal Doppler, and I'll show it to you. Ohio, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, there we go. Where is it? There it is. Okay, if you want to go to my screen, I can show it to you.
The ROI computer, if the producers can take...
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Okay, there it is. So on the left screen, where the little triangle is, that's the hook echo. Okay? So the giant Florence yaw If it's on the ground, it's right there. Let's do a loopity-loop. And that's why they put the new box out there. It's moving more east, so that's Florence. God, I hate to see that in Florence. If you know anyone in Florence right now, Florence, y'all, with the big sign, this is serious. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we are tornado free in our listening area at the moment, Mallory.
Yes. That is great news to hear. So I want to wrap up things on the TV side because we cut in typically when there's a tornado warning, and the tornado warnings that we had issued for our area, those were allowed to expire. So we are going to wrap things up on the TV side. I want to linger for just a few minutes on the streaming side, and then we'll take a break from there. But if you are watching WHAS 11, we can now go back to regular programming on ABC.
But here's the truth.
Hi, everybody. We are chiming in here and cutting into coverage due to a tornado warning that has been issued for the Kentuckiana viewing area. So we made it through about 2 hours of quieter conditions here locally, and that has now changed as we're watching these storms beginning to exit our viewing area here. So right on the edge, what we're looking at with the latest tornado warning that was just issued from the National Weather Service, we have a warning that's been issued for northern Scott County, northwestern Trimble County. Those are our counties here at home until 4 o'clock. At 3:08, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Scottsburg, moving east at 45 miles per hour. Now, we've been tracking, of course, these storms all night for you. We've been keeping an eye on the radar through these early morning hours because many of us still are under a tornado watch until 5 o'clock this morning. And these storms, they're starting to take more of that southeasterly turn where they're starting to finally move through the Kentuckiana viewing area after kind of hanging out in our northernmost counties, Lawrence, Jackson, and Jennings. But once again, we're watching this area of Scott County and over into Jefferson County, Indiana, just also in that northern corner, it looks like, of Trimble County tonight. So I'm going to take a deeper look at radar. I'm also joined alongside by meteorologist John Gordon here in the Weather Center and meteorologist Matt Breland as well. So let's take a look at what we're looking at here. And there it is right there. So it does look like this is what they have their eyes on. If you were watching some of our coverage earlier, when we look at velocity, that's your wind speed and wind direction. And anytime you have bright colors, at the very least, that can mean strong winds. When you have a little bit of pushing, a little bit of those greens and reds close to each other, if they are bright, that's when you have to pay attention to any kind of rotation worry here. So this has been issued once again until 4 o'clock, and it's pushing off to the east pretty quickly, though, I must say.
Okay, so what's going on is on the leading edge of this line, and it's rotating on the front side of it. There it is right now. The new scan came in. Mm-hmm. So if you're east of Austin on 256, going over there towards Madison, it's right off 256 near Albion, little town of Albion and New Frankfort. Moving off to the east, and right there at the little, see how it's surging right there on the little part there, Mallory? There's a little notch, there's a little nub right there. Mm-hmm. And that is why they issued the warning.
So this is kind of like a QLCS setup. So we'll get these setups around here where we have some kind of linear storm system rolling through, and we have to watch for any kind of notches and nubs. Now, a lot of the warnings earlier were more from single cell, supercell kind of storms, but this one, as things have tried to congeal a bit more, we're talking primarily wind, which is why we do have several severe thunderstorm warnings in place, but also we have to watch for, as John mentioned, that kind of surge there where we could have any kind of rotation that we're watching.
So that new scan, if you go to my screen, I don't know if they can, You can definitely see where the rotation is definitely picking up. It is to the east, maybe 7-8 miles east of Austin. See that little where the triangle is, right where the blue and the yellow are? There it is. It's off of Highway 256. That's Indiana 256 near State Road 3 in near Blocher. Moving to the east, and it's heading to Hanover and Madison. That is pretty rural land between Austin and Madison, but Madison's a big old town for sure.
And then we're getting word too that we have a view from Scottsburg. There it is, right there.
Look
from
at the
Scottsburg,
torrential
Indiana.
rain.
Yeah, that is quite the action going on right there. That is certainly an intense storm that's moving through, and the rotation that we're tracking, according to the shear tracker that we've got pulled up here on Max 3, that is just towards the direct northeast of Scottsburg. So that's what we're watching too as we continue to monitor this rotation as it continues to track there. So there's shear tracker right there that you can see. Hardy Lake, I'd say, right there.
Yep.
Yep. And it's continuing onward closer to Hanover, as John mentioned, to Madison as well. So this is our latest tornado warning, once again in effect until 4, although it looks like it's moving pretty quickly.
It is really moving.
Yeah.
This is completely different than we had all night, Mallory. We had supercells and then line segments. This is a QSS, and it's actually, it pivots back in. It's completely isolated there by Hardy Lake. That was a good call. Deputy, Smyrna, but this is heading towards Clifty Falls State Park and North Madison.
Yeah, so keep a close eye on this. If you're hearing the sirens go off where you are, if you're getting those notifications on your phone, make sure you are heading to your safe place. We can pull back up Max 1 now if possible, and we're seeing that surge there. That's what you're seeing. And I'm going to take off the radar because there's also a lot of rain, similar to the storms that we had earlier tonight. Tons of rainfall, gusty winds, but also frequent lightning as well. So these are going to be loud storms as they roll through, but this kind of gives you that clean look at the polygon in the red. Red is your tornado warning. The yellow color on the backside of that, that's also just a big severe thunderstorm warning, and multiple that have been issued as the storm system starts to push its way down to the south, tracking some gusty winds along with it.
What's interesting is you've got a huge area of straight line winds that is really a little bit south and east of Hardy Lake. That's looking off the terminal FAA radar. You're showing 73 miles an hour right off the surface. So if you're between Hanover and State Road 3, you're going to get in tremendous heavy rain and wind, and the tornado threat is just east of Hardy Lake right now.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, if you're hearing the tornado sirens, if you were awoken in the middle of the night from this warning, make sure that you do head to your safe place. And in addition to that, we're also tracking these severe thunderstorm warnings rolling through. So we've got a lot of gusty winds, heavy rainfall, frequent lightning. These storms are going to be loud as they roll through the area, but really seeing that rotation as it passes through Scott County, and now it looks like it's moving very quickly into Jefferson County, Indiana. So not Kentucky, Indiana.
Yep, the other Jefferson.
Yes, so that's what we're looking at right here.
And the rotation, one of the products we really like to look at is how you look at the entire rotational column. And it is right at 2, which is a really good indication that there may be a tornado on the ground. And that would be, I think it's off of 256, State Road 256, near Blocher, and heading near the college in Hanover in about 5 minutes. And then eventually towards Madison. So, folks, if you're in Madison, you need to take shelter now.
Yes.
Because even if this isn't, a confirmed tornado on the ground, there's still intense winds that are being produced by the storm. I mean, we're tracking winds that are gusting up to 70, 80 miles per hour. And that is also involved with this rotation that's happening just along there, just directly towards the west of Madison, Hanover, and that is certainly going to be a loud storm too.
On your screen, Mal, look at the bright pinks. Those are 80s. See the pinks on your screen on the wind speeds? Right there.
That's the area.
Look at the
definitely,
pink. The pink, those are 80-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, that certainly is going to be a damaging wind situation, if not a tornado that is starting to still circulate around. So Wakefield, another city involved in that warning as well. Midway, I would say go ahead and make your way to your safe place. Anyone that lives along Highway 7 there, that is going to be your main ground for this storm that's continuing to make its way just towards northeast of Madison.
So Hanover, safe place now. Madison, safe place now. This is approaching the Ohio River and once again moving out of Scott County into Jefferson County. And they're going to go radar confirmed with this tornado. So we saw this earlier tonight where you're getting that tornado signature on radar, and it's enough to, you'll see soon on some of our radar.
Yep.
Did they go ahead and issue that? Yeah.
I'm looking.
Yeah. This is going to end up being a purple polygon, basically, meaning that it's confirmed. So this is a serious situation. Make sure you are in your safe place, lowest level of your home, away from windows, and wait this out. So Hanover, Madison. This is heading right towards you here. And once again, what we're looking at, this is a velocity scan here. So anytime you're seeing the bright pinks, the bright greens together like that, that's a couplet, it's what we call it. And it shows that that storm is rotating and producing their purple outline. When we get a purple outline, that is at the very least radar confirmed tornado. And that's what we're seeing right now in Jefferson County, Indiana.
And circulating winds of 80 miles per hour too. And so we're tracking that out as well for folks over in Wakefield and Neville Grove, Midway and Middle Fork. That is where you guys are in need of taking shelter immediately. This storm is basically arriving within the next 5 minutes. And then folks there near Bellevue and Barbersville within the next 10 minutes. So this is where we're going to be watching that track of that storm that's going to continue making its way towards the northeast. Neville Grove and also just towards Cannon Elementary School is also included in this polygon that we're watching very carefully as it makes its way just
very
towards.
Populated area near Hanover and Madison. Very populated. Please seek shelter in that area. We're seeing strong indications of a tornado on the ground right now. What do you think, about 7 miles west of Hanover?
And the tornado getting information from the National Weather Service that it was located 8 miles west of Madison, moving quickly, 45 miles per hour. That's a fast-moving storm.
See it on the CC? You see that one scan? There it is, right there. It's probably from there, maybe 7-8 miles west-northwest of Hanover-ish. Right there.
Yeah, that is a healthy rotating storm for sure, just towards Hanover.
And all those straight line, look at that pink on that color, Matt and Mallory, that's 80-mile-an-hour wind stuff.
Yeah, so this is right over Hanover. We are dealing with this radar signature that shows rotation, very strong winds. This is the reason you are under a tornado warning now until 4 o'clock in the morning. So make sure you are in your safe place. Madison, get in your safe place now. This is headed your direction. And you'll notice this is a big view of the tornado warning. But what we're paying attention to is really that rotation that's very close right over Hanover right now and heading toward Madison.
Yeah, back behind it, you got straight line winds that whole mess we've been looking at from Paoli all the way south of Scottsburg. Those are all straight line winds. But the tornado threat is on that little squall line area up there just west-northwest of Madison. If you're in Madison, it is time to execute your safety plan now.
And there's a look at shear again, too. That's a measurement of how much rotation is happening just near the surface. And that is a decent spot of rotation that's happening there just along closer towards Wakefield, just towards the south of Wakefield is where that's being located at. And so that's where we're seeing some of those stronger winds that are really showing that rotation happening there. Once again, that is Wakefield in Jefferson County. So we are continuing to just keep a close eye on that. That is a storm that's been traveling at 45 miles per hour, but also we're getting reports of winds up to 80 miles per hour that are occurring within that radar confirmed tornado. So that's definitely going to be a damage causing storm as it continues throughout the next upcoming hours, but lots of lightning with that too. It's very loud, and those rain showers definitely are coming down too. You know, we had that view from Scottsburg earlier that we showed just a few moments ago, And that is that's continuing
It's
too.
getting rain wrapped now, Mallory. Just like we had before up there in Freetown.
Yeah.
It's almost the same kind of rain wrapping where it was almost like a hook, and now it's totally rain wrapped.
And switch over to Max 1 so that folks can see exactly what we're looking at with there.
Look at
There's that
those whites.
velocity.
Whites are 80 plus.
Yeah, we don't like to
is
see that.
damaging, intense, strong winds directly right over Hanover. That is
Yeah.
Hanover,
right
the
over
college, that's on 56. There's a McDonald's in there up towards Antioch, and then it runs into Madison. This reminds me of that storm 3 years ago that crossed right there and crossed in Madison. It was on national news. Folks, this is serious. Please take your plan of action now, please.
And if you're in Milton, this is right over the river from you, so please head into your safe place as well. I know we've been focusing on Jefferson County, Indiana, but also if you are in Trimble County, especially in that northern part close to the river, I want you to be in your safe place right now as well. This storm, as we mentioned, it's moving very quickly.
Yeah, it's almost out of the box.
It is, yeah, they're going to have to
They got to move it,
extend
movie. So,
this.
yeah.
So, you know, this is one of those situations, you hear the siren, you get the warning, you head to your safe place. And this is why we really did emphasize people having multiple ways to wake them up in the middle of the night in case we had a situation like this, unfortunately.
Yeah, Mallory made a good point. Milton, along the river, all those little communities, those RV parks that are up there between Milton and Locust, up to Carrollton. Please get to your safe place right now. They're going to they have to reissue, and they're running out of time. It's almost out of the box.
And that storm is still holding its structure together very, very well. There's no signs of weakening anytime soon. It's still definitely having a lot of energy with it. The wind energy within that is certainly damage causing. 80+ mile-per-hour winds. That easily is going to be causing damage. Once again, that's right over Hanover, Madison, folks just towards southeastern Jefferson County.
Yeah.
Certainly, and near Milton. I'd say Milton, you guys probably have about 5 minutes before you're starting to see those 80+ mile-per-hour winds.
Yep, and they're getting out of the Louisville area. That's going to be the Wilmington office here very shortly, except for the far eastern part of Jefferson, Indiana. So you'll be seeing I think you're going to see a very small warning come out of Louisville for Jefferson, the eastern part, and then you got Wilmington's going to continue that, I would suspect.
So this is the reason why we're cutting into coverage on air. We're also on our streaming platform, WHAS 11+. Big picture view. If you're in Louisville, you're looking northward, you're likely seeing a lot of lightning. Heavy rainfall is on the way, gusty winds as well, and that's likely what most people will be getting out of this. But we have been watching these storms just rotate in this corridor between Indianapolis and the river there, and unfortunately, that's what's happening right here. So, but as we mentioned, this is already pushing into Madison as we speak. So between Hanover and Madison, Milton as well, and they're going to have to extend this further as it moves out of the box.
Yes, they will. And Mallory, we're getting reports too from emergency management, from the National Weather Service in Louisville, that debris being reported lofted at least 8,500 feet. So it is on the ground causing damage.
Yeah, that's from Kevin, the new MIC over there. Well done, Kevin, on the midnight shift.
So if you look at correlation coefficient on the debris detector, there are some signs of some non-water or non-meteorological particles that are being tossed into the air.
The new scan came in. I'm telling you, Madison. I mean, you need to hit your shelter now. This is serious. We're not here to try to disrupt your sleep. Madison, you need to stick to a safe shelter now.
Yeah, this is directly over Madison and on Milton, too. It looks like this storm is hugging right along the river there in between Madison and Milton, along Highway 421, Highway 36. That is exactly where a lot of that strong rotation is happening, causing damage, too, getting reports of damage happening actively right now in Jefferson County near Madison, or outside of Hanover, Milton. That debris could easily have been lofted from Hanover.
So this is a serious situation for anybody who's tuning in after you received your alert on your phone or you're hearing the sirens outside of your home. This is all due to this tornado warning that has been issued. It was issued for portions of Scott County originally, then Jefferson County, Indiana, and also Trimble County as well. But as we keep mentioning, it does look like they've trimmed back the backside of this warning because this portion of the storm, it's moving east very quickly.
Yep.
So this will likely be extended beyond some of our coverage area. We do continue into Carroll County, so if it continues on the Kentucky side of things, that will be for us as well, and it will push into likely the eastern portions of Jefferson County.
Yeah, by the casino, Vive and Carrollton and all that. Yeah, they have not reissued, but as far as I'm concerned, the eastern part of Jefferson County, that's to the border, yeah, that's under tornado warning. And Wilmington, they need to issue one here. If you're in Brooksburg, Carrollton, Vive, get your shelter now.
Yes.
Because those winds are certainly damage causing. I mean, over the last 15 minutes, those winds have just been continuing to increase in strength to 60, and then eventually, we saw those 80+ mile per hour gusts that were happening too. So that's definitely a reason why you need to be safe and protected, because that is enough wind to easily turn things into some dangerous debris.
This radar software, yellow, that pinkish white color is always good for 80. It works really well.
Yeah, which we obviously don't like seeing tonight. Let's see, I just got a new notification. It looks like they extended it.
They had to.
Yes, because it's moving out of the polygon.
Is that the eastern part of Jefferson?
Yeah, let's zoom out and then zoom back in.
That little thin area?
Yes.
Yeah, the new tornado warning has now been issued in the National Weather Service. This one now in Wilmington, Ohio.
Okay.
And so they've got this in Switzerland County, which is in southeastern Indiana, Carrollton County, Owen County, and also Gallatin County as well. They've got that around until 4:15 a.m. and they're still tracking that storm moving east at 50 miles per hour. And the main hazard is still the radar indicated
And
tornado.
they've got that gap, which looks very bad. So you're under a tornado warning. We are putting you in a tornado warning in eastern part of Jefferson.
Eastern Jefferson, get in your safe place, stay in your
that
safe
little hole, there's no hole. Just you're under a tornado warning.
Yeah, this entire area, please.
Yeah.
So Carroll County, you're now included in this, and then beyond that point, it continues into Switzerland County, Owen County, Gallatin County, outside of our particular viewing area. But Jefferson County, Indiana, Carroll County, Kentucky, safe place. Trimble County, that northern edge of it as well, close to the river, safe place. Due to these tornado warnings that we have in effect now for the next half hour or so. So please make sure you are being safe and you're continuing to listen to us until these areas of rotation move out. And once it does, we are tracking still some heavy rain on the backside. That's another view of Scott County. So still seeing torrential rainfall, but that area of rotation is now past you. Very heavy rain, frequent lightning. These are going to be strong storms for a while now as they do track finally southward through southern Indiana and eventually into the rest of our Kentucky counties. But this particular area that we've been watching around Hanover and Madison is something that we don't like to see, especially at night when we're dealing with tornado warnings, nocturnal tornado warnings, just the worst case scenario there.
Right, and the damaging winds too. I'd say even on the backside of these storms, we're still tracking some very strong winds that are still on, behind that. So folks still in Hanover and Madison, you're still hearing a lot of lightning or hearing a lot of
Jefferson, there it is.
And so, yes, they have extended that warning out as well. So, yes, it is continuing to be a very strong rotating storm that's continuing.
Really on the edge of the three counties, honestly. Jefferson, Carrollton, and what is that, Switzerland, whatever that county is. And you just see the giant severe that came out. I was waiting for that. They went to Louisville. So they just put that whole area you just back to the west that goes out to Henryville, Salem, Hardinsburg. It's surging to the south. The cold pool's putting in, and now you're finally. Doug's been waiting for this. There it is. A big squall line is coming into the metro.
Yeah, so that's going to bring damaging winds with it. It's going to be a very loud storm. You'll be hearing the rain. You'll be seeing the lightning, hearing the thunder as well. So this is for downtown Louisville area. It looks like north of 64 in the Louisville metro into southern Indiana over to Oldham County. I mean, this stretches all the way east into Henry County, up Bedford, Kentucky as well, due to just these storms picking up steam as they push off to the south and continuing to bring us severe gusts in addition to the heavy rainfall and any kind of localized flooding threats.
Can we focus? Let's look at Carrollton. Zoom kind of between Madison and Carrollton, and that Carrollton is really needs to get their safe shelter now.
Yeah, Carrollton, you're next in line for this rotating. Produced a radar-indicated tornado. This is still traveling quickly towards the east, up to 50 miles per hour. Brooksburg also included in this storm system as well. So Brooksburg, Carrollton, you folks are going to start hearing a lot of thunder very soon. That is your sign to get to your safe place right away, because as soon as the next 5 minutes roll in, you're going to be seeing 80+ mile per hour winds that could be and that are moving so quickly towards you folks there. Also in Brooksburg, you guys need to be in your safe place too, in a room away from windows, so that you can protect yourself, because this is certainly a quick moving, but also has shown damage, definitely has proof of damage causing winds.
Right. So folks in Smyrna and Hanover, you can get out of your safe shelter. Even though you got a tornado, you can just kind of get ready to start getting out of there. The storm has passed east of you and is now just getting Madison. You're still getting very heavy rain and wind, but the tornado threat is really on the edge of those 3 counties.
So if you all are able to pop up me at the chroma key, I can kind of point out a few things that we're looking at. But once again, we have that tornado warning that happened extended further off to the east. There we go. For areas included, we're talking Carroll County, Trimble County is included in this, and also it's moving through Jefferson County as we speak. And what we're looking at, this is a shear tracker, but if we can pull up Max 1, that would be even better for the wind speeds that we are tracking. So the bright pinks there, those are your strong winds moving into Carrollton, Bedford, Kentucky. And then, as we mentioned, this is moving out of Hanover and Madison. So this is trucking along pretty quickly through our coverage area. And this is why National Weather Service needed to act quickly in terms of issuing these tornado warnings downstream. So at the very least, very strong winds, and at the very most, we were seeing that couplet there as this line rolled through, and we were starting to get those kinks along the line that we have to watch out.
Right now, it's really looking like a very strong wind threat, 75 miles an hour. Doesn't look like it did a few minutes ago for tornadoes. Correct.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. So the bright pinks, still nothing to laugh at, you know, even if you're not seeing a couplet, because that's going to be strong winds that are heading into Carrollton and Bedford, Kentucky right now. So
that's right.
Trimble County, Carroll County, heads up, you're under a tornado warning and you're expecting some strong winds rolling through there, along with some, of course, heavy rainfall and frequent light as well. So those are the wind speeds that you're looking at. The pinks, those show very strong winds, and that's exactly what we're seeing, of course, tonight.
And that's basically a 30, 40 mile per hour or 40 mile stretch of just winds moving at 80 miles per hour. So that is a large area that is just bringing in a steady amount of those strong winds as it continues to move towards the east. And the storm system itself is moving at 50 miles per hour. And so that adds some additional wind to it as well.
Yeah, I'll step out of the way so you can see that here. So we put a tracker on it, 338 Craig, 341 English, 346 Turner Station, 347 Easterday, 51 Ghent, 354, Campbellsburg, 359 Lacey, 401 Carson. So
real quick, I just want to mention they just put a flash flood warning out for northern Orange and all of Washington County, Indiana. They're recognizing these cells are along and training. There's a train, isn't there, Mallory?
Yes. And this was the 1-2 punch that we were worried about earlier, where we have the wind threat, of course, the tornado threat, but then also the heavy rain, the training. Anytime we talk about training, those are showers and storms that move over the same areas, and they can produce some localized flash flooding concerns. So that's what we're seeing in areas like Lawrence County, also Orange County, Washington County, where we do have flash flood warnings now in place.
Yep. It looks like a major wind threat right now, all across Trimble and Carroll counties.
Yep.
Even though there's a tornado warning right now, it looks like a wind threat and extremely heavy fall rates.
Yes.
Very,
in fact,
very high.
We were using this earlier, the P rate. So this kind of gives you that idea of how fast the rain is falling. And this is all estimation, obviously. I'm not getting ground truth this, that says 6 inches an hour. You know, we were getting reports earlier, 3 to 4 inches per hour, these rates that are just torrential downpours. And I mean, you saw from our cameras earlier how heavy this rain is. It's blowing around in the wind. There's frequent lightning as well. So these storms will likely wake you up in the middle of the night. Once again, Louisville, some of us now included, especially if you're downtown, inside the Watterson, basically, off to northeastern Jefferson County, Oldham County, Henry County, northern Shelby County as well. This is where this big block of this severe thunderstorm warning is. And what we're watching is this area that's moving through Carroll County and Trimble County, where we saw some rotation right over Hanover through Madison, and now it's kind of surging more so as straight line wind threat as it pushes off to the east.
Yeah, the one thing, so while we got the tornado warnings off to the northeast, the big thing that Mallory, Matt and I are seeing is the wind. So look at places like Carrollton, Bedford, over to Charlestown, in the Knob, Ellersburg, Jeffersonville, over to Georgetown, Corydon, Lanesville. You're all going to get 60-plus mile-an-hour winds. Doug was laughing at me earlier about the garbage pail alerts. Well, the garbage cans may be moving. Very strong surge of wind and very heavy rain coming in towards the metro, too, Mallory.
Yeah, and this is kind of right on time. We were talking about 4 a.m. or
yeah,
so.
3:30 to 4.
For the Louisville metro area to start to see impacts from these severe thunderstorms. Right on time. I will say the models had that handled really well. So,
and this is going to be out of that tornado box at
yes.
8 minutes.
And it's approaching I-71 now. So folks along Turner Station,
Good
English,
call.
I-71, that's where they're starting to see another surge of those winds that are approaching 80 miles per hour. Folks, just towards, directly towards Turner Station, that's where we're seeing some of those strong winds. So there easily could be some trees that get knocked over on the I-71 within the next 10 minutes. So that is something to keep in mind as well. Carrollton really starting to see those strong winds right now too, and this is going to still be continuing over the next 10-15 minutes as those strong winds just continue to just roll through.
I'm sure the Weather Service is busy right now, but that warning, that tornado warning for Madison, that's done. Even though they haven't canceled it, it's moved east of there. They're just getting rain now. You can get out of your safe shelter in Madison, Hanover, and Smyrna right now.
Getting reports of 56-mile-per-hour winds at Trimble County, according to the National Weather Service meteorologist.
Mesonet, probably. Yeah.
Mesonet, correct.
There.
Yeah, that's that new station we went and profiled. Okay, so Vive, if you're at the casino, you need to not go outside. Don't go outside. The winds are coming your way. 71. Matt made an excellent observation. If you don't need to take 71 going between Cincinnati and Louisville, don't.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be trees down on the roads of I-71.
It's not going to be pretty
for this morning, because this is a broadband line of just very strong winds that's continuing through, and there was reports of tornado possible tornado damage earlier from this same system, the same cell that we're tracking as it continued making its way near Hanover and Madison just moments ago. It's moving very, very quickly, but the winds inside it are still strong straight line winds.
And when you see really tight gradient on the reflectivity that they're showing you on the screen that's extremely tight, that means there's a gust front and there's a lot of wind. A lot of wind. It's not a little wind, it's a lot of wind. So you need not to go outside and get your phone out there, because these winds will sweep you away. If you're in Bedford, Carrollton, Bethlehem, Charlestown, Sellersburg, look at that surge coming down. Very strong winds, Mallory.
Very strong winds. So, yeah, you're seeing that big block here. I'll take off the radar because the radar is obviously showing a lot of that heavy rainfall, gusty winds. That is one factor of it. The other factor of it that we're seeing here, all the warnings in place. So this shows you the severe thunderstorm warnings in that yellow gold color. So this is due to the strong wind gusts of 60 miles per hour. And then the red that we've been watching, this was due to the tornado warning that we had in place around Hanover. We were seeing that radar indicated rotation heading into Madison, Milton as well. It's lost some of that look, but it's still surging with strong winds. So it's still very important that you do stay in that safe place. Carrollton, strong winds over you right now.
They got rid of that first warning that we mentioned, and that middle one, that little thin part of Jefferson, that will go in the next 2-3 minutes. And then we have one last tornado warning where there's a little bit of rotation northwest side of Carrollton.
Yeah, I see that right now.
On the back side, it doesn't really line up completely well, but there's definitely a little couplet we're watching. Straight line winds of 70 to 75 miles an hour, and there is still a little bit of a tornado threat northwest of Carrollton. And that's all movement. What you got movement? 50, 55 to the east? Okay.
Yeah.
I-71, very strong winds. It's there now. Campbellsburg from the Campbellsburg and Sligo exit all the way up towards Cincinnati. Going to be ugly. Don't need to go. Don't.
I'm going to put another tracker on it. 45 miles per hour.
And they're putting out flash flood warnings, rightfully so. Basically, if you're from Austin to Salem to Paoli to Jasper, turn around, don't drown. Assume there's some high water on the low-lying roads.
Yes.
Again, I-71 is certainly going to have some reports of trees along it that is continuing just near the south of Carrollton. So I-71 that takes you there just into Carrollton on your way to Cincinnati. That's where we're going to see certainly there's going to be some trees that are down from that because those winds gusting up to 80 miles per hour.
That pink color again, Matt.
Easily.
That's the really strong winds. And you want to show that little rotation, Mallory, between Brooksburg and Carrollton? Just a very...
Yes, it's on our screen right now.
There
I can
it
take
is.
off the track here. Northwest of Carrollton.
Small area.
Yeah, right here. So
Yep,
that
it.
is still in the tornado warning box, so you should be alert on that. That's the main area of rotation that we're paying attention to. Otherwise, as we keep mentioning, very strong winds. And for those of you at home, but who have to head to work in the morning, just be cautious of course, any kind of standing water in the aftermath of this, any kind of debris that may blow around at night, especially if you have to head into work when it's still dark outside, because we have a lot of wind, a lot of rainfall, and frequent lightning with this as well.
And we're continuing also onto the severe thunderstorm warning that's issued, of course, for the Louisville Metro, for us here in Jefferson County. As we continue going throughout the next upcoming minutes, we're going to still stay under our fair share of intense rain showers. Some strong winds starting to make their way into our area as well this morning, just along there into Hill. Charlestown, Sellersburg, our southern Indiana counties, right on the Ohio River. We're continuing to see that severe thunderstorm warning starting to arrive too. So we're getting reports of winds that are gusting up to 60 miles per hour as this continues to make its way closer into Jefferson County too, as county included in this warning box. And this is once again a severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued as we continue to track this main line of energy of these storms arriving in for this morning. So this is still expected to last at least into the next 30 minutes for us across the Louisville Metro, Sellersburg, there into our southern Indiana counties, also Oldham County included in there as well. So certainly a loud start to our Thursday morning.
And really this is like big swath that's issued out ahead of us like this to account for all those 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. If you are in the Louisville Metro, you might be starting to hear the wind kick up. You might be starting to hear the thunder increase, seeing the lightning flashes outside your window, starting to hear the heavy rainfall, especially in southern Indiana areas like Henryville, Charleston, Charlestown, Sellersburg, anywhere just in southern Indiana. And this giant severe thunderstorm warning really stretches from Corydon over to Newcastle up to Bedford until 4:15, and then we're just watching this one nub of rotation that we did have a previous tornado signature on.
It looks like a bookend vortex. So what you do is you look at the comma head, and then you go to the northwest part, and it's kind of rotating. If you look, there's a little curly on the northwest side, and that's what it is. There's a tremendous surge of wind that goes from Warsaw to VV down to Worthville. But if you go to the very northwest side of Carrollton, it's pushing through right now on the line, right on the river, I guess. That's the area. If you're gonna, I went up high on the radar up to about several tilts, and you definitely still there. It's not out of the question there could be a tornado there. It's not as strong as it was earlier, for sure.
Right near Worthville.
Yeah.
Certainly some very intense, very more of a concentrated area located right there near Worthville, where those winds are showing over 80+ mile-per-hour gusts for sure.
Those are the straight lines. There is a threat of a tornado just along the river between Carrollton and, I'm sure I'm saying this wrong. Is it Vive? Tell me.
I think you're correct. Vive,
I believe, is the correct pronunciation.
I know there's a casino there, but anyway.
But certainly a strong blast of wind happening there just along Worthville and towards the south of Worthville. And that is going to be continuing for the next at least 10 minutes. That's going to bring in those winds gusting over 80 miles per hour. So there's another patch of damage that'll be occurring there too.
Yeah. So we got a tornado warning. Basically, that's for an area between Carrollton and Vive. We got a tremendous surge of wind that goes from Warsaw to down, it's just past Charlestown. Oh my God, LaGrange, you're next. LaGrange and Buckner and Crestwood, Utica over there, and it'll be in Louisville before you know it. Tremendous wind, but also a lot of these counties could be under flash flood warnings. There is a lot of rainfall.
And there's a view of Henryville right there for you, John. Yeah, continuing to see that lightning just really repetitive over the last few moments here. Heavy downpours, messy start right there in Henryville. Yeah, we're seeing reports of over the last 3 hours closer towards Henryville that they're seeing close to 2 inches of rainfall happening within the last 3 hours, which of course also is combined with those strong winds that are happening and also this frequent lightning. Severe thunderstorm warning still in place until 4:15 a.m. for folks located there in Henryville. Also here in the Louisville Metro, we're continuing to track out these intense conditions. So taking another glance at radar right here, you'll notice that we are starting to see this intense line of showers and storms making its way closer and closer towards us here into the Louisville Metro. We're going to be seeing this activity arrive just into the next upcoming 10 minutes. This is the line that we're talking about just towards the south of Sellersburg, making its way just towards the south of I-65, basically just traveling along I-65 south. We'll be approaching Louisville Metro here within the next 10 minutes, and this is going to be a loud start to our Thursday morning. There's a lot of lightning happening with the storm system and winds too, gusting up to 60 miles per hour. So that certainly could be damage causing as well. So we're going to.
And I just got corrected. It's Vive.
Okay.
So will you show that little rotational area over there between Vive? It's right near Vive, literally.
Yep, right here.
There it is. That's an area we could get a spin-up tornado, but boy, is there a lot of wind east of there. Sanders, Worthville, Warsaw. There's a surge of very strong winds. You'll see that whole area is going to get minimum 50, maximum 75.
Yeah, I mean, these are extremely strong winds that we're seeing regardless of whether a tornado does develop or not. At this point, we were seeing that couplet more so over Hanover and Madison, and then that strong surge of wind gusts as it continued onward through Carroll County and even portions of Trimble County as well. You are now behind all that, but you are still getting torrential rainfall. And this surge of wind will continue to make its way out of our particular viewing area, being that Carroll County is the end of our viewing area, Henry County, and also up north, Jefferson County as well.
And speaking of that, Carrollton, you're out of the woods. You have the clear. You got the all clear. You're going to have heavy rain and lightning. The wind and tornado threat is now east of the county seat of Carroll County. Vive. The places I see on my map are Sanders and Warsaw on 71, and then it's out of our area.
Yes.
And look at the severe that Wilmington put out. That's a big one.
Yeah. So a lot of times when we have systems like this, we get really big, blocky, severe thunderstorm warnings to account for these strong pushes of wind and these fast-moving systems as well. And it's just better to be safe than sorry and kind of paint that bigger picture.
And if you go to the base velocity, you can really see the surge of wind coming right toward the metro. Just look at the base velocity. And there's just a huge surge of wind pushing south.
Yeah, we're about to have a really strong blast of wind happening here just directly in all of Jefferson County. So this is going to include Floyd's Knobs, New Albany, Georgetown,
everyone's getting it.
We're all about to have a windy, rainy start to this 4 a.m. hour.
Yeah, it's right. Prospect, you got about 1 minute. Clarksville's coming, Galena is coming,
Oldham
Louisville,
County,
New
seeing
Albany.
it right now too. LaGrange right on top of you, seeing those very strong winds happen there, and heavy downpours. So that is what we're continuing the track out to, and rotation's still very weak.
It's really weak
So
on the last two stands.
Very weak rotation, but the straight line wind threat is certainly the main.
I don't think they're going to put a tornado warning out for Owen County. I think they got the severe out. Did they put tour possible? They may have. Yeah, they did. That's what I would do.
For the extended tour.
Yeah, they went severe tour possible. I don't believe you're going to get a new tour east of there. It's too broad right now. And they're just going to keep putting these big severe thunderstorm warnings out with occasional flash flood warning. I think that's the deal now.
Yes, let's take a look. What flash flood warnings do we have in place? It looks like these up to the northwest.
Yeah, they could go further south if they wanted.
So northern Orange, Washington, into counties and areas off to the west. Expect more of these to be issued as we carry on into the early morning hours. In addition to the yellow box that you're seeing on your screen, severe thunderstorm warnings, and then the red box, still that tornado warning we're just holding on to for a couple minutes.
Yeah, that'll be good here in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, the rotation of that is continuing to
Thank goodness.
weaken, but the straight line wind threat is still definitely there near Worthville, just towards the outside of Worthville, and, making its way closer towards folks there near Wheatley.
Yeah. Your weather team said between 3 and 4 right here by the river. By golly.
Yeah.
How about them apples?
That's right. Well, and the wind threat, of course, certainly was the main issue that we were considering too, as with the storm system, and these winds definitely have power to them. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts now in Sellersburg and knocking on our doors here just closer towards Clarksville, New Albany, Floyd's Knobs, continuing the track. Those storms are starting to make their way closer and closer towards the Louisville Metro. So this is going to be a gusty 4 a.m. hour for us here in Jefferson County, Oldham County, and Harrison County, all included in this line that's approaching from the just from southern Indiana.
Yeah, very strong winds is the name of the game. I think if there is any tornado threat, it's more up towards the northeast between VV and Cincinnati. I think for us, what you're seeing is what you're going to be getting watching Matt Breland this morning with a lot. You'll see a few severe thunderstorm warnings and very heavy downpours with lightning. It will push south throughout the morning, Matt.
Yep, this is going to be a system that really arrives throughout all of our counties south of the Ohio River. This is going to be a southern Kentuckiana morning mess up for us as we continue going throughout this 4 a.m. hour. I'd say we're in from about 4 to 6 a.m. for our southern counties just towards the south of the Ohio River as we continue to track this cluster of showers and severe thunderstorms that are traveling towards the south. They're moving quickly, but still expected to stay very windy over the next upcoming hours. Here's a live look of Sellersburg for us right now this morning. This is where they are seeing up to 60-mile-per-hour winds that are gusting this morning. This is directly included in that severe thunderstorm warning that we're talking about, and so this certainly a very quick-moving storm system, but bringing in lots of that strong wind. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts can easily cause some damage as well. So this is what we're looking at. You'll notice this cluster of showers and storms that's just continuing to bring in those severe thunderstorms for us, just now arriving closely into Jefferson County. So we're starting to see those conditions arrive here in the Louisville Metro within the next 10 minutes. We're start seeing our fair share of those strong winds too, those heavy downpours that are going to be continuous just along Louisville and for all of our neighboring cities too. Prospect across all the way into LaGrange and farther south towards Corydon, Valley Station, Shively, PRP. You folks are already seeing some strong downpours as well this morning, and it is a messy commute there outside, seeing those views that we have sharing with you at home. So it's a messy beginning to our Thursday morning. We're going to continue tracking out the system as we go throughout the next upcoming hours. As I mentioned, right now we're watching it just arrive just towards the south of Sellersburg. A severe thunderstorm that has been developing 60-mile-per-hour winds is continuing to travel south along I-65 basically, and that's stretching all the way along up the I-71 to where I-71 meets I-264, the Waterson, and into I-65. So LaGrange, down into Prospect, here in Louisville, and all the way down south, closer towards Corydon. That's where we're going to be seeing this line of strong winds start to arrive with us within the next 10-15 minutes, and that's going to stick around for a majority of our 4 a.m. hour.
So someone just sent me this. If you were with us earlier, we thought Florence may have been hit, and I just saw a picture from several online digital people of what looks to be a large tornado near Florence. I'm trying to remember when that was. Several hours ago, Mallory.
Yeah, Florence,
it's all a blur,
Kentucky.
Folks.
Yeah, we were watching a storm that was entering the Cincinnati metro area earlier this evening. Good news for our counties, at least. Doesn't look like any kind of this surge of moisture as it moves, surge of wind as it continues to surge eastward is pushing out more so of our viewing area. It's out of Carroll County here, which is the end of our viewing area, and it's also east of Henry County as well. But this is still kind of the strongest surge that we're seeing, and any kind of rotation that will want to pick back up looks to be more so in this northern edge. The rest of us, just looking at this straight line wind threat, heavy rainfall threat, frequent lightning threat, and we'll have to watch for additional flash flood warnings that will be issued early this morning. Yeah, folks, if you're going east of our viewing area, I'm just looking at this line, and there's some kinks and nubs in there. I would not be surprised Wilmington issues a tornado further east here or there. But I think for us, we're into only severe thunderstorm warnings and occasional flood advisory or flash flood warning.
And especially along I-71. I'd say any of our county, any of our communities that are along I-71, basically all the way from Louisville, stretching all the way towards Carrollton and over basically that entire stretch of I-71 we cover is included in a long-lasting severe thunderstorm for us right now. For the rest of our 4 a.m. hour, we're going to continue seeing just intense rain showers and also lots of lightning that's going to be continuous along I-71, and also still some periods of some gusty winds that could be gusting over 60 miles per hour are still going to be a possibility for our counties that are included along I-71.
So it's out of Carroll County now, almost, right?
Yes, it's moving its way on out.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
out
waiting
their
for
border.
The official
They haven't dropped the warning, but yeah. But it's really, all the rotation is east of Carroll County right now.
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
So good
And
news
there's
if
great
you're in
rejoicing.
Carrollton, Hanover, Madison, that has now passed through you. Fortunately, that was the area that we were seeing some of that tightest rotation earlier with the original tornado warning that was issued, and why we hopped on air here on WHAS 11. And then the rest of us, as we mentioned, you're likely hearing the rain, you're hearing the thunder, you're seeing the lightning, you're hearing the gusty winds. You might be popping on the TV to see how things are looking. Louisville metro area, really, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that stretches practically from Corydon all the way up to Newcastle and beyond. So these are a few different ones, but this gives you an idea of where that surge of wind is pushing out when you see big blocks of yellow on your map, and then behind the blocks of yellow you get blocks of green because we're dealing with flash flood warnings on the backside. As we mentioned, with these really impressive rain rates, would be expecting more as we continue onward this morning.
Thunderstorm winds are the main game right now. So that's been hitting 71. Well, you're about to, you can say 64 per tune. And it's going to be basically anyone along the north of Interstate 64. And they're going to keep extending these severes. So in Frankfort, you're going to get a severe. Believe me, it's coming. Shelby County, you'll be getting a severe. Taylor, Spencer, you'll be getting a severe.
And we've got that tracked out too with some timing as well for folks here in Louisville expecting the arrival of those winds any minute within the next 5 minutes. But Frankfort likely going to see this line of storms arrive in closer towards 4:20. Brandenburg also 4:20 for a timeline there. Fort Knox 4:30 a.m. Elizabethtown 4:45 a.m. So the majority of our 4 a.m. hour from 4 to 5 a.m. across all of our counties south of the Ohio River is wherever we're going to continue seeing this line of showers and thunderstorms arrive in. Also getting reports of lots of power outages in Madison, at least 2,000. So that certainly is from those 80-mile-per-hour winds that we saw
And/or
earlier.
tornado.
And/or tornado, of course.
Yeah. So we had Freetown tornado tonight. Or is that the town?
Freetown and Jackson, Indiana, and then also this one that was near Hanover,
Madison. And probably for folks up near Cincinnati, I think you may have been struck near Covington.
Mm-hmm.
So they said the thing is there's a point where they can't get rid of the warning because of the expiration. So hopefully they can get it out. But if you're in Carroll County, your tornado threat is now gone.
Yeah, it's now past you.
Yeah.
Now we're just mostly looking at some intense winds that are just going to be basically traveling all along I-65 south of Louisville, all of our communities towards the south of Louisville. So we're talking about, of course, Frankfort, Brandenburg, Bardstown, Elizabethtown, and Shepherdsville. You folks are going to be in for quite the windy pattern and rainy setup as we go throughout this entire 4 a.m. hour as we're still tracking the storm. It's moving about 50 to 60 miles per hour, bringing in gusting up to 60 miles per hour as it makes its way closer and closer to Jefferson County here, and also for more of you folks there near Oldham County, just a strong line of thunderstorms that are just going to continue tracking towards the south this morning.
Yeah, and that storm, believe it or not, some indications they may need to push tornado warning out east of our area, northeast of Owenston. You got to see a little notch in there. So that thing is still going to be a problem for a while, I'm afraid. Whereas we are in the wind and the rain.
Wind and rain for the majority of our morning. Of course, these on some of the edges of these storms, there's to be some brief periods of rotation, but the main threat that we're going to continue for the rest of this 4 a.m. hour is going to be the strong winds that are going to continue pushing south of the Ohio River.
Yep.
And it does look like, guys, that they went ahead and canceled the tornado warning.
Okay.
So that area that we were watching, where we were seeing the velocity that moved through Carroll County and off to the east, and we said you guys are in the clear. So thankfully they went ahead and.
Yeah, I don't think we have a tornado threat anymore, really, in our viewing area.
I'd say this is going to be a wind situation for the next hour across all of our Kentucky counties, at least for the next 30 minutes here along the Ohio River, and then we're going to be watching you folks there just towards Bardstown, Elizabethtown, and near Lebanon to see the next line of this.
And this is coming to Frankfort and Lexington if you're heading that way.
Yep. So we're going to wrap things up here on WHS 11. We have some strong storms that are continuing to roll through, obviously, the Louisville metro area with strong winds, heavy rainfall, frequent lightning. These are going to be loud storms, and we'll likely have additional, of course, severe thunderstorm warnings throughout the early morning hours. I'm going to toss the baton off to meteorologist Matt Breland, who's in for you this morning. And, of course, he'll have more updates on Good Morning Kentucky. But for now, I'll wrap things up here. No more active tornado warnings for Kentucky this time, or southern Indiana.
Active weather across the area this morning. Just got word of a tornado has been issued across Crawford, Du Bois, Meade, and Perry County. As we continue going throughout the next upcoming minutes, we're going to continue tracking out this tornado warned storms. Let them pull up max winds so I can show you guys what exactly we're talking about this morning. This is in our central time zone county, so this is in place 15 Central Time. Once again, for you folks in Crawford, Du Bois, Meade, and Perry County, the NAS has shown that there was some signs of there's sirens being activated for folks there in Du Bois County right now as we continue to track out some circulation that's been happening in this most recent storm cell that's just developed. So this is what we're looking at right here. And once again, for Du Bois County, continuing to monitor a tornado warning that has occurred over the last moment here is whenever they issued this is in place until 4:15 a.m. Central Time, 5:15 a.m. Eastern Time. The counties that are included within this tornado warning are as follows: southeastern Du Bois County, also Crawford County, and also northern Perry counties. We can keep this activated once again until 4:15 a.m. also 4:15 a.m. Central Time and 5:15 a.m. Eastern Time. So we are continuing to just keep a close eye on this patch of showers and storms that has been showing some signs of rotation. Tornado warning has been issued for Du Bois County, which is located just towards southern Du Bois County. So this is where we're watching a lot of rotation starting to occur for you folks there, just located closer towards Birdseye. That is where we're seeing a lot of this activity starting to fire away. You folks, they're just into Birdseye, Indiana. So this is where we're continuing to monitor a patch of rotation that's been developing over the last few moments. Over the last few moments, there's been some signs of circulation that's been wanting to become a bit more developed for you folks there in southeastern Du Bois County. So if you are located near Birdseye, you need to be in your strong factors showing that there's winds that are gusting at least up to 60 miles per hour. And so that is for southern Du Bois County in south central Indiana. And the latest report on this was that there was a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 11 miles southeast of Jasper, and it's moving east at 50 miles per hour. So this is the storm that we're watching carefully this morning, giving you a look of it on satellite and radar. Lots of heavy rain showers happening within the and there's been reports of associated with it as well. So if you are in Du Bois County near Birdseye, you need to take shelter right away. There's been reports from radar that a tornado has been possible for you folks there in southeastern Du Bois County. So as we head throughout these next coming moments, we are going to continue tracking this system out. This is going to be in place until 5 a.m. Eastern Time, 4:15 a.m. Central Time. So once again, this is a tornado warning that has been issued just over the last few moments, continuing to keep a close eye on this rotating storm that's been that we've had our eyes on over the last few moments, and this is still going to be in place for the next 30 minutes. This is once again for South Du Bois County. They've been getting reports of intense thunderstorm activity there, and on satellite and radar, seeing some circulation that was happening too. So this is why we issue these warnings whenever we see this type of activity. Once again, this is closer towards Birdseye. This is our storm that we're looking at right here, just towards Birdseye. This is a circulation that we're watching carefully. There's been some reports of some rotating thunderstorm activity right there on satellite and radar. So we are just continuing to keep a close eye on this storm as it continues to advance its way farther towards the east, traveling at about 50 miles per hour. So we can go ahead and track out how, or the timing wise of the tornado warned storm. So it's moving around 50 miles per hour directly to the east. And so areas that this could be impacting soon could be Doolittle Mills within the next 5. That is an area to keep in mind too. Get to your safe place. St. Croix, West Fork, Grantsburg, Beechwood, Kirby, Leavenworth. Make sure that you folks are getting to your safe place too as we continue to watch for this rotating storm to start making its way farther towards the east. Around 4:30 in the morning, the National Weather Service in Louisville started noticing an area of rotation just towards folks in southeastern Du Bois County. So this is what this tornado warning is issued for, and this also includes the other following counties. This includes Crawford County, Northern Perry County, also northwestern County. So these are going to be the areas we keep a close eye on as we head into the next upcoming hour or next upcoming minutes. Out some activity that's its way into Kentuckiana this morning. So we're still off to a messy beginning for our Thursday morning. Here's the line that's developing just as we head into this 4:30 a.m. time. Again for 4:30 a.m. Eastern time and also 3:30 a.m. Central time for you folks there in Du Bois County. So we're getting report of winds that are gusting over 40 miles per hour from Scott County this morning. So certainly a messy beginning to our Thursday here across Kentuckiana. So Birdseye, once again, if you folks are in Birdseye, southeastern Du Bois County, you need to be in your safe place as we continue to monitor the potential rotating storm that's associated right here on your screen there that I have pulled up. That is where we track wind speeds within certain thunderstorms, and we're getting reports of winds that are gusting up to 60 miles per hour, just located there near Birdseye in Du Bois County. So you need to be in your safe place as we continue to track out this intense thunderstorm that's been developing over the last few moments. And this is for Du Bois County, and also will be arriving into Crawford County within upcoming moments, just as we head into the next upcoming 20 minutes is whenever we're going to continue tracking out this strong storm. So this storm is heading towards the east around 50 miles per hour just out of south Du Bois County. And so this is going to be arriving for the following cities just as we head into the next upcoming moment. So you need to be in your safe place. If you are located in Doolittle Mills, you've got 5 minutes and the storm starts arriving closer towards you, and winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. Also for folks there near St. Croix, West Fork, Grantsburg, Beechwood, Kirby, and within this tornado warning that's still in place until 5:15 a.m. Eastern Time, 4:15 a.m. Central Time. So once again, this is a tornado warning that is activated. This is from a radar indicated setup that we've been watching carefully on radar as of right now. According to County Emergency Management, there hasn't been anything reported from dispatch spotters or weather stations related to an active tornado on the ground. However, we are still just monitoring strong winds associated with this. So even though there may not be an active tornado on the ground, there still are winds gusting up to 6 miles per hour within the storm. It continues to travel farther off. We need to monitor the rotation from the National Weather Service and the Emergency Management Agency there in Du Bois County. And once again, this is a tornado warning that has been issued for southeastern Du Bois County for you folks closer towards Birdseye. That's where a lot of these strong winds are being focused at this morning. So we're kind of on this rotation. And once again, as I mentioned, folks are still keeping a close eye on this at the National Weather Service, from keeping a close eye on Du Bois County as they're still monitoring radar indicated rotation. It's a tornado warning that once again is in place until 4:15 a.m. Central Time for you folks in Du Bois County, Crawford County, and also in place until 5:15 Eastern Time. So once again, Doolittle Mills, St. Croix, West Fork, Grantsburg, Beechwood, Kirby, Leavenworth. Within the next 10 minutes, there's the expectation of a severe thunderstorm with winds up to 60 miles per hour and a possible tornado within it. So go ahead and get to your safe spot in Doolittle Mills, St. Croix, West Fork. That's where the storm is traveling at 50 miles per hour towards the east. And it's going to continue bringing in lots of heavy rain showers and also the potential gusting up to 60 miles per hour. So this is all part of our active weather situation that we're continuing to track out across the Ohio River this morning. Certainly a messy beginning to our Thursday morning. And of course, our main area of focus is just over towards Du Bois County and Crawford County, where this tornado warning is still activated and included in the cities of Birdseye, just towards the south of English. These are all of our southern Indiana counties that are included in this. Crawford County still in this. So now Du Bois County has now been removed from this tornado. Now the updated tornado warning is now as follows from the National Weather Service in Louisville. This is issued for Crawford County, Indiana, and Meade County. Warning still remains in effect until 5:15 a.m. Eastern, 4:15 Central Time. Crawford, and Meade counties still at the potential for the storm system. Take a look at the shear. Very minimal shear that's again as an indication of how much is happening in these. So not quite danger right there. There's a small blue area that is just south of English for Meade County. A few could be a part of some visual. So this is all part of a severe thunderstorm that the potential for developing a tornado. And so this is now just where the patch are still developing. So once again, this is still a gusting Du Bois County line. Activity towards the east. For you folks, make sure that you are continuing to keep a close eye on Crawford. This storm continues around 50 more. Grantsburg, carry in about 10 minutes. Short showers and storms delivering winds up to 6 miles per hour. Is headed your direction. Watch also continue to get coverage. I have a web to that's we have this morning too, continuing to part of southern Indiana, just to give us a live look. Lots of activity happening running in. We are track still a lot of severe potential that's happening just across all Kentucky. So this is a live look that we have coming. Lightning happening this morning, and very active weather situation as we're continuing to track out these severe thunderstorms crossing over the Ohio River. We are continuing to monitor. Still a lot of rotation that's happening just outside of Crawford County, just into Crawford County is where we're seeing some of this activity. Also, has just been issued under a tornado warning just towards the south Louisville Metro. This is the newest warning that we just got in also from the National Weather Service. So just to give an update from the National Weather Service, a new tornado has now been issued for Jefferson County as we're continuing to monitor this active weather situation. So once again, National Weather Service has now put a tornado warning in place for Spencer County, Shelby County, Jefferson County, and Bullitt County until 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Once again, this is a radar-indicated rotation, so there is no actual report of a tornado on the ground. However, signs on a radar of rotation happening, and this is the area of rotation that we're really keeping a close eye on, just towards, that is directly towards the east of the Louisville Airport this morning. This is where this rotation has been indicated on radar, and so that is where they have issued a warning once again just towards the south of the Louisville Metro. This is in place until 5:30 a.m. We're going to put all of our attention on for now as we continue to keep a close eye on this tornado warning that is now issued for Jefferson County just towards the southeast of the Louisville Metro. A radar indicated rotation for the moving east at 25 miles per hour, and this storm is located just towards Newburgh, moving at 25 miles per hour according to National Weather indication of some rotation within this certain storm just near the Louisville International Airport. So Audubon Park and closer towards closer towards Newburgh. That is where we're keeping a very close eye on this activity that has just been issued under a tornado warning for us just along Jefferson County near Newburgh. We're continuing to monitor the rotation as well. So the area that they're really keeping close is closer towards Fern Creek and near Buchel. That is where we're seeing these winds that have been gusting up to 60+ miles per hour, and also been showing some signs of some subtle rotation as well, just for our just towards the southern Jefferson counties. If you are located just near Audubon Park, you need to be in your safe place. Poplar Hills, Petersburg, Buchel, continuing to stay in your safe place as well as we continue to monitor this tornado warned severe thunderstorm that has been issued over the last few moments. This is still as it continues to travel to the south. Lots of strong winds still in place for folks here in County just towards the direct southeast of the Louisville Metro. So here's what you can expect as we head into the next upcoming hours. We are expecting at least some strong damaging winds for this county, Jefferson County and Bullitt County until 5:30 a.m. So producing a tornado, and it was located just over Newburgh. And so we're going to be watching this storm very carefully and also keeping a close eye on its track as it continues to make its way towards the east, moving towards, I would say you folks near Fern Creek are still in the line of the next line for this arrival of these storms that continue to show some signs of some rotation. So Bullitt, Jefferson, Shelby, Spencer County. This is where this new tornado warning has now been issued in place until 5:30 a.m. So if you are located in Fern Creek, you need to be in your safe place. Buchel, Okolona, anywhere towards the east of the Louisville Airport. If you live east of the airport, you need to be in your safe place as we're getting to monitor the signs of some possible rotation within this thunderstorm. Notice just here along the just directly east of I-65, the international where the Louisville Airport is. Folks near Newburgh, you need to be in your safe place right now. If you live in Newburgh, make sure that you are not away from windows and that you are just continuing to stay put away for the next upcoming 30 minutes as we count this strong rotating storm. And I'm just now getting word too from the National Weather Service, the tornado warning for Crawford County that was moments ago has now been canceled. So now all of our attention is going to be directed to this new tornado warning that's in place for southern Jefferson County. This is located just closer towards Newburgh near Fern Creek. There's some indications of a storm still happening this morning for us just along, just towards the east of I-65 across from the Louisville International Airport. That's where we see some rotating storms starting to develop for us. So as we go throughout the next moments, we're going to have all of our attention drawn on this. This is, of course, an active severe thunderstorm that is continuing to produce a rotating setup as well. So folks near Fern Creek, you need to be in a safe place too. Newburgh, Fern Creek, if you live on Kentucky Highway 150, just continue staying in your safe place as well. And this is starting to approach its way now closer to Nashville, just along I-265, just along. We are continuing to monitor this potentially rotating thunderstorm that is still traveling towards the east at 20 miles per hour. And this was issued just a few moments ago on 4:30, just around 4:45 a.m. The National was monitoring some rotating thunderstorm activity that was showing signs of, once again, and this is located near Fern Creek. And this severe tornado warning is still in place for Bullitt County, Jefferson County, Shelby County, and Spencer County. So there's a look of our cameras that we have set up from Newburgh, and you'll notice right now we're still a lot of heavy rainfall happening this morning. Of course, frequent lightning is happening as well, and we're continuing to track out this strong storm that's just been developing across southern Jefferson County. So this is happening towards the east of I-65, very close to the airport. So the east of I-65 near the airport, and continuing to monitor a slower but still being system that has the potential to bring in some rotation. So the following cities that I'm calling out here, of course, Newburgh, Hollow Creek, Fern, you folks be in your safe place right away within the next minutes. That potentially rotating thunderstorm that has a radar indicated tornado in it is still developing, and it's going to move east at 25 miles per hour. Folks near Fayetteville, Connor, you guys are also still included in the tornado warning, still in place for at least the next 30 minutes for us, just into southeastern Jefferson County and also Shelby County, Spencer County, and this also includes Bullock. So definitely some strong winds that are associated with this system as we're continuing the winds that could be gusting at times up to 60 miles per hour. So pulling up the latest velocity data, this is what we use to get the latest wind reports. So you'll notice just over the last few moments, there's definitely been some strong winds that have been shown here. Creek, that's the indication of winds that could be gusting at times over 80 miles per hour. So continuing to keep a close eye on this setup. The rotation, not quite as healthy, but this is certainly a strong wind situation too. So even though this is a radar indicated tornado, which means it signs of rotation from radar data, there's definitely are getting reports of at least strong winds. So all of our areas near Newburgh and near Fern Creek, I would definitely suggest you just take shelter as we continue to monitor this active tornado warned storm. A few moments ago, there was a tornado warning placed on this storm just for Bullitt County, Jefferson County, Shelby County, and Spencer County. This potentially rotating setup. So here, look at those shear values too. Shear is what we use to measure the rotation. As long as there is rotation within a thunderstorm, there is potential for that activity to make its way towards the ground. So that is why this tornado warning is in this morning in Jefferson County. So continuing to keep a close eye on the rotation here. We just got the latest scan, of course, near Fern Creek. That's where all of my attention is being drawn right now. So if you are anywhere in between Fern Creek, the Gene Snyder, if you are closer towards the south of Jeffersontown, or just directly near Hopeville, there is a strong thunderstorm that happened just directly towards the west of the Gene Snyder, west of Hopewell, and towards the south of Jeffersontown. There's a thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado this morning. As we continue to track out this tornado warned storm, I've got this circled right there. That is where the potential for some rotation that's continuing to advance its way towards the east around 25 miles per hour. The rotation is still inside this thunderstorm, so this is still going to be in place until 5:30 in the morning at the latest. So we're continuing close eye on this rotating setup. So getting reports still of lots of winds near Fern Creek, winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour, possibly even closer to 60 miles per hour for folks just along Fern Creek, Jeffersontown, Fisherville. Guys are also included in this warning as well. So this is in place until continuing to just keep a very close eye on this tornado warning for Jefferson County and Spencer County. As the Weather Service in Louisville, keep a close eye on this thunderstorm that's way through the Louisville metro, and just as soon as it passed the water and traveling south, started showing some signs of rotating near Newburgh, and now this rotation is starting to be focused more towards Nashville and continuing the travel just towards the east at 25 miles per hour. So what I'm showing you right now is a magnetic shear in the atmosphere. Shear is another word for rotation. So we're still getting reports from the National Weather. They're monitoring some rotation within this certain thunderstorm. So we're still tracking this out. This is a tornado warning that was issued a few months ago just for Jefferson County, and now also in Shelby, Spencer. Thunderstorm just toward Fern Creek. So for you folks located directly in Fern Creek, and this is where some rotating thunderstorm activity is being watched very carefully. So if you are in Fern Creek, you need to be in your safe place right away. There is a severe thunderstorm traveling toward the east at 25 miles per hour that still has been showing some signs of potential rotation. So from the latest scan, we're going to continue giving you the latest details. This storm is still traveling towards the east around 25. And if you're just now waking up this morning, I'm sure a lot of you are hearing a lot of thunder and hearing some heavy showers in Louisville Metro. If you are in Fern Creek, there is a tornado warning that is placed, and this is in place until 5:30 a.m. as we're continuing under a rotating thunderstorm that is traveling towards the east at 25 miles per hour. All folks just towards the east of Fern Creek, if you live along the Gene Snyder towards the east of Louisville, then you are included in this tornado warning as well. If you are just south of I-64 in Jefferson County, just towards the east of Louisville as well, you're included in this tornado warning, where this is a potentially rotating thunderstorm that's still traveling towards the east around 25 miles per hour. Hopewell, Fisherville, and also Connor within the next 10 minutes is like stay aware of, as it still has the potential for that. So still keeping a close eye. It appears that a lot of the heavy rain showers are now in Jeffersontown and Creek. It looks like most of the strong winds are continuing to travel their way towards Jefferson County and also closer into Shelby County and Spencer County. So this is still in place until 5:30 in the morning. This morning that has been issued for Jefferson County, Bullitt County, Shelby County, and Spencer County. The majority of the focus is in this red polygon that I'm showing you on your screen, just towards the east of the Louisville International Airport is where we were seeing a rotating thunderstorm that developed close to Newburgh. And this is still focusing closer to Fern Creek as well. So that rotation still traveling towards the east. These are quick storms as they're still traveling just towards the south of Fisherville. That's where I would still need to be in your safe place as well. If you're in Fisherville, get to your safe spot along with well. So we're continuing to keep a close eye on this. Newest report from the National Service, they're still keeping a close eye on this storm. However, they are monitoring the rotation that is continuing the signs of weakening. So the latest National Weather Service in Louisville for this tornado in all of our communities just towards the south of St. Matthews and south of Anchorage. This is including Fisherville and also Fern Creek and also Hopewell and just toward of Simpsonville. Continuing to monitor a severe thunderstorm that developed over the last few moments that was showing some signs of rotation. So this is all still continuing to travel towards the east as part of our severe storm setup. And they're still continuing to monitor rotation. National Weather Service is still showing that the rotation has been weakening the last few moments. Still a small degree of rotation that I'm showing you here from shear tracker. And once again, shear is another word. So this is what we're watching carefully here along with the National Service. So if you're located just towards the south of Hopewell, or if you live along Highway 155 in Jefferson County, then you need to make sure that you are in your safe place. Continue to monitor this storm that's continuing to travel just towards the east at 25 miles an hour. So there's still been some indication that there's been some rotation within this storm just towards folks near Seatonville. As this storm continues to travel towards the east now of the Gene Snyder in Jefferson County. So all the folks near Seatonville, we're continuing to monitor this rotation. The National Weather Service is getting ready to have an update soon on the storm systems. Once again, this is all part of an active weather pattern that's been arriving into Jefferson County this morning. There was a possible tornado that happened just a few moments ago. There were strong of rotation just closer to 4:30 a.m. and then this has now been showing signs of weakening. But I would say if you are towards the south of Fisherville or near Seaton, you need to just make sure that you are in your safe place as we continue to monitor the rotating storm towards the east at 25 miles per hour. So they're still letting this warning go to at least the next few minutes. We'll still just keep a close eye on this as we head into the next upcoming moments. And of course, we are about to get ready for our morning show, Good Morning Kentuckiana. We'll continue providing you with all the latest live weather updates. But once again, this is meteorologist Matt Bree here, continuing to monitor this storm system that's developing just towards southern Jefferson. Tornado warning has been in place still just because there was some rotation that was being tracked earlier closer towards Seatonville. And we are now getting the latest report from the National Weather Service. They have now let that tornado warning expire for folks here just towards the south of the Louisville. So I would say you folks located just towards the east of Creek and closer towards Seatonville, or if you live closer towards Shellville and also Simpsonville, you're hearing a lot of more. You're definitely seeing a lot of rain showers, and it's very windy out there too. Track out this storm system that's still traveling towards the southeast this morning. So as we continue to keep you updated with all the latest weather details, we are going to start our morning show here soon. Of course, we'll keep you updated with all of the latest updates regarding storm system. Very active weather for this morning across Kentuckiana. So once again, this is part of that developing line of showers and storms that is still developing this morning, bringing in a steady amount of heavy rain showers. We've got reports of gusts up to 6 miles per hour, a stress activity all the way from our folks along the Ohio River. So all of our counties along the Ohio River this morning continuing to stay under storms. So that is a look that we have outside this morning too of all of our traffic cameras. I-64 and I-264 very messy on roads this morning as we're still seeing these intense thunderstorms rolling through. So once again, tornado warning has been canceled for Louisville Metro of Jefferson County. Folks in Shelby County also including that has once again been canceled. That tornado warning that we were just talking about has now been canceled. It's been downgraded now to a severe thunderstorm warning. We're going to continue keeping you updated with all the latest weather details. And with that being said, good morning, Kentuckiana. It is a messy start for this Thursday morning, you guys.
And good morning. Thanks for sticking with us here on Good Kentucky. Continuous coverage of these severe storms that we've had this morning. I'm Gabriel Gonzalez.
And I'm Casey.